speculation, hasn't there? Joe Gomez has been linked, seeing that he hasn't made a single Premier League start this season. And actually with that, you know, the Gerrard-Liverpool link could come in quite handy, couldn't it?
Well, he'll be trying his best, won't he? He'll be certainly shopping to improve the Aston Villa squad. Konza, Coney Horse have come in today. Matty Cash, Target. I feel like the back four's okay. I don't think they have to go too far to continue that journey, and I feel like they've got a steady squad. He'll always want to improve in every area. When you're missing, obviously, Mings as well into that, and Tuanzebe is not getting any game time, and that's the difference, isn't it? He'll certainly want a fourth one, but it's who he's going to get.
Let's look ahead to the other 2 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League this afternoon. We're looking at Brentford against Aston Villa. We'll stick to Brentford, actually. A quick question on them. I mean, they're 9 points clear of the bottom 3. Do you think we've seen enough, Nigel, that they won't end up in any kind of relegation conversation a bit further down the mark later in the season?
Yeah, I think I've seen enough. I think they're a well-worked team, well-drilled, well-organised. Ivan Toney's a great threat for them. I think that for me, again, it's that first syndrome thing. You know, all these players are playing off adrenaline. It's the Premier League. It's the promised land. So I'm sure they'll be able to see it all the way through the end of the season. Again, for them, their biggest question is going to be next season, whether they can maintain that, whether they're going to re-strengthen the squad, add a bit more quality, and whether they're going to learn from the first year's Premier League experience. That's when I feel that you're really going to see Brentford really tested. But I think I've seen enough so far for them to be fine.
I tell you what's in their favour is the rest of the teams. Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, Leeds United not getting the points that you've required at this time of the season. So they can be caught. There's a bit of nervous tension. I was at Brentford against Manchester City, and it's interesting to hear Pep say he enjoyed watching them. Their setup was different. I think they said they were the #1 for set pieces in the Premier League, a real difficult place to come. So at home they're doing well, but I still feel the quality there's lacking, as all the rest of the Premier League teams I've just mentioned can catch them. So they need a result quickly.
And actually, Michael, the one difference that Brentford seem to have over those other teams at the bottom of the table is the discipline at the back, isn't it? They're just not leaking goals, certainly the way teams like Watford are at the moment.
They've seen the shape out of possession. They're all well drilled, they're organised, the distances were really good, and they understand where to be. That's the difference for them. So he's changed the style. They've gone from some passing, keeping possession, to now obviously counter-attacking, keeping that shape, and at times they're not afraid to drop back in their own third. That's everybody right behind the ball in their own half. Yes, it was against Manchester City, but you feel they've got an energy, a trap, and Tony at the top of the pitch. A couple of injuries now is not helping them. Can they get some reinforcements? COVID and injuries over this period have not been great for them, but I do feel a couple of results underneath them will heighten that pressure, and this could be one today. If Burnley can get some of those points, Newcastle can get some players in. Watford really seem to be on free fall at the moment.
Let's move on then. Actually, before we do, I'll just bring you up to speed. Millwall are now ahead against Bristol City. Benica Fobi scoring a penalty on the half-hour mark in that game, and they are now just approaching half-time. Everton are hosting Brighton in one of the other 2 o'clock kickoffs this afternoon in the Premier League. Maz Faruqi is watching this one and can recap the team news, Maz.
Yeah, and it's fair to say, Emma, isn't it, that Everton have been very patchy under Rafa Benitez this season, but he would point to injuries to key players like Richarlison for that inconsistent form. So what kind of boost can the return of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, back today for the first time since August, bring his team and Goodison Park here today? There were big cheers earlier, and he applauded the stands when he came out to warm up. A reminder, his inclusion is one of 4 changes for Everton today. Damari Gray, Alan and Seamus Coleman also come in. Ukraine defender Vitaly Mikolenko, who signed yesterday, just came out on the pitch to greet the fans. He clearly hasn't been registered in time to play today. Brighton have a good away record, as you mentioned earlier, Emma, and no COVID problems at the moment either, according to Graham Potter. So you imagine he's been able to pick pretty much the strongest 11 he wants to today. Leandro Trossard returns from injury. Adam Webster and Enoch Mwepu are also included. Those are the changes to the team that drew at Chelsea in midweek.
Maz, thank you. Michael Brown, Nigel Rio-Coker with us. The big headline then, Michael, the return of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I mean, how significant could this be?
Well, it's very significant. He come out and said it's like having a new player, a new signing. You feel like now the controls going with Rafa Benitez regards to signings, recruitment, first one in the door, full-back areas, but obviously something that they've been looking to strengthen I know they're looking at Nathan Patterson from Rangers, so whether they rekindle that interest from the summer, we'll soon see. But yeah, you feel like there's going to be signings coming through the door quickly at the early January. Is that what we want to get some improvement? Because the pressure's been on them, hasn't it? But to have Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the top of the pitch, Damari Gray, can he put some crosses in? Can they get some service to Corey in the middle of the pitch? It's obviously be very impressive for Everton. But again, you look at this and say they've just got to get a result.
Nigel,
Michael, do you think that Rafa Benitez was the right manager, the right appointment for Everton?
I think
you honestly believe that?
Nigel, I think it's a real difficult situation, and they've spent so much money. They tried to progress. They tried different options in the Premier League. I think what it gives you with Rafa Benitez is stability, organisation, trying to take the whole football club to another level. But the patience of the Everton supporters are not going to be there for long with Rafa Benitez, we know that. But now they've come out, they've backed him, they've given full control. We've seen director of football roles change, and now it's time to start getting results, get some players in again, and then judge from there. I think they've just got to stick with it, Nigel, till the summer at least. Have a look where the progression is, what they're doing on the pitch. They've been hurt, no Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison as well, is one that's going to improve that football club.
But do you not think, again, the problem is if they do stick with Rafa Benitez and the signings that he's probably going to make, he already wants to make this summer, and it doesn't work, Everton are going to be in the same rut that they've been in for so many years, where you're looking and trying to find a direction of what direction this club is heading in, but it seems like they're just buying players from here, there and everywhere, and then every manager that comes in has to deal with all these signings and some players who you barely
So what
see.
you're saying, as you're saying, they go with like a Graham Potter, he would have been a one you'd say, well, there's a future there, there's a style, there's a fit with the longevity of the football club. You're sort of saying that's the type of signing that they should have went with. I just feel
I
like
personally
it's
think
difficult.
so, yeah. I feel the Rafa Benitez thing is just kind of chasing, trying to show to the fans that, yeah, we're trying to be a top 5, top 4 club, we're trying to compete with these guys. So they bring Rafa Benitez in, and for me, his style of play did not suit the players that Everton currently have there. And that's why I'm not surprised with the patchy form. Not surprised that the director of football's left, because Rafa Benitez likes full control. And again, I'm not sure we're going to see the same Dominic Calvert-Lewin that we saw under Carlo Ancelotti under Rafa Benitez. I think that the manager that you have as a player plays a big part, and especially for young players coming through right now. Are we going to see? Yes, he's a breath of fresh air that he's back for Everton, but is he going to be the same Dominic Calvert-Lewin that we saw under Carlos Ancelotti that was thriving compared to Rafa Benitez? Because I'm sure he's going to be asked to do a lot more defensively minded work for the team than the freedom that he was given under Carlos Ancelotti to score just goals.
Well, the Everton fans, Nigel, I'm sure are going to be hoping that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can pick up where he left off in August before he had this injury layoff. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin back in the Everton team this afternoon, as they will be taking on Brighton at Goodison Park. But as well as the Premier League, we have Championship football taking place today as well. So it is half-time in the first game of the day. Millwall still leading Bristol City by 2-1. Then we'll have 3 more kicking off shortly. So first we're going to head to Ewood Park, where it's 3rd against 6th. What a game this looks to be. Blackburn against Huddersfield. It should be a cracker, Betty Glover. But we're hearing it's been delayed.
Hey Emma, yeah, it's because of traffic outside the stadium. Fans are still waiting to get into the ground. It's certainly filling up though, lots and lots of supporters in here. Now last time out, Huddersfield won 3-2, and before that, last season, Blackburn beat them 5-2. So if it's as half as good as those, we're definitely in for a treat. But this is massive for Blackburn, isn't it? Avoid defeat and they'll move up to 2nd with games in hand over Bournemouth and Fulham. They are on that ridiculously impressive run of form at the moment. 6 wins on the bounce, and you can't talk about them without talking about Ben Brereton Diaz, can you? Scored his 20th goal of the season against Barnsley a few days ago. He'll be looking to score for a 5th consecutive home game as well. But Huddersfield aren't exactly lacking in confidence at the moment either. They've got 3 wins in a row. They're back in the playoff mix, and their head coach Carlos Corberán isn't actually here, by the way, because he's isolating after testing positive. 2 changes for them. Blackburn are unchanged again, because Emma, if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Exactly that, as Sean Dyche would say, Betty. Thank you. Next, West Brom are looking to bounce back After losing to Derby County in midweek, today they face another side battling it out towards the bottom of the table in Cardiff City, but have made a statement signing overnight at the Hawthorns is Pat Murphy.
That signing for West Brom is Daryl Dike. He's only 21, but he's what West Brom need. A proven goal scorer with Orlando City, and last year Barnsley on loan, playing for the West Brom head coach Valérien Ismaël. The fact that parsimonious West Brom have forked out around £7 million for Dike is both testament to their faith in Ismaël and an awareness that they've been desperately short of a reliable, powerful target man who can help them win games that they've dominated recently without getting the 3 points. Dike will work on his fitness before the QPR game of the fortnight. Today, Alex Mowat and Carlin Grant are back after COVID complications. Cardiff, they face a relegation dogfight now, and they're without the injured Kiefer Moore and the suspended Leandro Bacuna. 2,000 Cardiff fans are here, but they'll be absent next Sunday when they're at home to Preston, the FA Cup, because of the different COVID restrictions in Wales. So they'll be belting out fervent support today.
Pat, thank you very much. Likewise, Nigel Rio-Coker, who's been with us for the last hour on 5 Live, building up to all our games this afternoon. But the players are now out at Elland Road. Leeds hoping that a new year will bring a bit of a fresh start to their form and they'll return to winning ways. Likewise, though, Burnley very much in need of the points themselves in the relegation zone in the Premier League right now. I'll hand you to our commentary team for this one. Michael Brown is alongside Conor McNamara.
Thanks very much, Emma. A drastic change in conditions here over the last 10 minutes or so. When we arrived at Elland Road, it was blue skies. There wasn't a cloud above us. It is now teeming down with rain. Absolute cats and dogs as the players come out onto the field. Leeds all in white, Burnley in their change strip, a sort of very dark charcoal grey. There's been a late change in the officials as well. Paul Tierney is now the referee. It was due to be Kevin Friend, who you may have seen was promoted to assistant referee duties at Arsenal yesterday, so that might have played a part in him not being the referee here today. But Paul Tierney is the man in charge. So Leeds against Burnley, two teams down in the bottom 5 places in the Premier League table, and that makes this a very important game. Leeds fans relieved just to see the game taking place. Their matches against Liverpool on Boxing Day, against Aston Villa on the 28th of December, both postponed due to COVID-related issues. For Burnley, well, 4 of their last 8 games now have been postponed. The match against Tottenham was called off because of snow. Burnley's games against Watford, Villa and Everton called off because of COVID issues, and the defeat to Manchester United in midweek was Burnley's first game in 18 days. So, Michael, so much for the busy festive period. I think these players will be quite happy to get out there and stretch the legs.
Sort of enjoyed the Christmas break, won't they? A bit of training, time with the family, but a lot of these know the Premier League. They'll want to be playing regular as much as possible.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
Sean Dyche, who's bellowing on some early words of encouragement to his team, but 0-0 here in the early stages. Meslier is the goalkeeper for Leeds. They've got 2 changes in the defence today, with the return of Junior Firpo from suspension and Diego Llorente as well. They're alongside Ayling and Koch. Dallas, Forshaw and Click in the midfield. Rafinha, Roberts and Harrison making the front 3, although in effect it is more like a back 5 at the moment for Leeds, with Stuart Dallas operating on the right hand side of the defence for the moment, while Burnley have possession inside their half. Michael Brown.
Yeah, you're just looking Luke Ayling there being drawn in with Aaron Lennon. The formation's always difficult with Leeds United, where they're going to set up, what changes in this man-to-man formation. Burnley as well, setting up with that back 4 as usual. Dwight McNeil on the right hand side. and Aaron Lennon just taking that 10 position. It's been a scrappy start, nobody really getting any sort of control in the game so far.
Dwight McNeil helps it on to Cork in the midfield. Burnley are unchanged from the game against Manchester United at Old Trafford on Thursday. Hennessy still in goal. There was some hopes that Nick Pope might have been back fit in time for today, but it is still Hennessy. Back for Loughton, Tarkowski, Mee and Taylor as per usual. In midfield, McNeil, Westwood, Cork and Goodmunson, and then Lennon partnering Wood in attack. Jack Cork has possession, attacking position, left-hand side of the midfield as Burnley come forward, and then there's a challenge by Stuart Dallas, and he gives away a free kick. And that's got to be a free kick in a crossing position. He went in on Taylor, another former Leeds United man. Crossing position, free kick, and attacking one for Burnley.
I played in Charlie Taylor's debut here at Elland Road. It was a fabulous one, and he took a little bit of a dive after a couple of games and then recovered to now a seasoned Premier League player. Wonderful talent, not the brightest. Give him a little bit of stick, that's for sure, but you know, a great footballer, honest as they come. But now set pieces, this is an opportunity, isn't it? As we know well, if the delivery is good from Burnley.
Not the brightest. Here comes the cross from the left-hand side. Goalkeeper Meslier comes out of his 6-yard box. Good goalkeeping, commanding two-fisted punch to clear it well outside the box. And then Cook sort of slips as he tries to continue the clearance. It's nodded back towards the Leeds penalty area, not once but twice. Aaron Lennon gets a little flick on. Wood under pressure from Ailing. Ailing's done really well. And now a chance for a Leeds counter-attack. And Rafinha, a chance to run to the penalty area. Taylor trying to get back goal side. Rafinha chops in of him, tries to play it in front of Stuart Dallas, and it's cut out by Tarkowski inside the penalty area. That was the first exciting attack of the game so far. So up and underway in the 2 o'clock kickoffs. 0-0 between Leeds United and Burnley here, and there's been a goal at Goodison Park. Maz Farouki.
Brighton have the lead, Connor. Alexis McAllister not picked up when the cross came through on the right hand side. A really poor start from Everton's defenders, who are just left standing. Everton 0, Brighton 1.
He's had to be patient, McAllister. He's only been involved from the start in recent games. I think it's his 3rd Premier League start in a row now for the Argentinian. And continuing the woe for Rafa Benitez. We'll keep you up to date with the developments at Goodison Park with Maz throughout the afternoon. Here at Elland Road, 0-0 between Leeds and Burnley. You know, Michael, just a moment ago, that counter-attack when Rafinha went galloping over the halfway line. That's what we've missed from Leeds. That's what they were full of last season. How do they get that back on a more regular basis?
And it's brilliant that Rafinha just sits out on that right-hand side. Charlie Taylor had advanced, and then he does it so quick, takes in his stride, chops back in. Great recovery runs from Burnley, all getting back in. Tarkowski just a slip, but they recovered well. But yeah, that's the intensity that you're talking about, isn't it? But you need all your players fit. You need to have them really at full power, playing regular games, and that's something they haven't had.
I remember coming here last season, the behind closed doors days, and Leeds were exhilarating to watch, and you sort of thought, oh, I wish the full crowd was in here to see this. They haven't been quite as good since the fans have been allowed back in. This is Tarkowski rolling it up to the halfway line, getting it back from Loughton. Tarkowski's right-footed ball is a good one, and Wood will chase it into the penalty area now. He's back to goal. Right-hand side as Burnley come forward. Booze again for the Kiwi. He's been held up by Koch. He's got Loughton with him in support, but this all breaks down for Burnley here, and Ailing will clear it away, and again they find that searching ball out towards Rafinha on the right-hand side. He wins the header under pressure from Taylor, but he can't flick it onto any teammate, and Ben Mee will clear away for Burnley, but all it does is return possession to Leeds. It clears it back into the home side's penalty area and through to goalkeeper Elland Meslier away to our right-hand side. Leeds will come from deep. Llorente pushes it too far in front of Junior Firpo, and that will be a throw-in to Burnley. Michael Brown.
I think that'll be something as well that Marcelo Bielsa will want his side to do better, is actually be able to come out from the back, have the confidence to centre-backs, playing into full-backs, playing to midfield. Llorente there stepping through, carrying the ball up the pitch, creating that overload, and yes, he's give the ball away after that, but that's more of the intensity, more of the play that we've seen, the build-up play and getting in better areas.
Marcelo Bielsa's sitting on his little upside-down bin inside the technical area as usual. It's a little deeper, it's closer to the dugout today. I think that is to shield himself from the rain. I think if he's out on the edge of the technical area there, he gets wet. So it's wise for the Argentinian to drop a bit deeper. Here come Burnley. Lennon into the penalty area left-hand side, but it's a disappointing left-footed cross, and it's easily cleared away by Leeds. Burnley enjoying plenty of attacking pressure, though. Here they come again. Taylor to the byline, left-hand side, sends in an early cross. Cock on the edge of the 6-yard box clears it away. But Leeds don't really clear their lines. It's out for a Burnley throw, and Sean Dyche's team remain on the attack. This is 5 Live for the BBC, 0-0 at Elland Road.
You see Stu Dallas dropping in at the right fullback. You can see the overload's good from Burnley. Gudmundsson just playing in Charlie Taylor. Rafinha's got to go with his runners for all what he does. The other side of it generally does get back. On this occasion, just poor execution from Charlie Taylor. It was a good opportunity from Burnley.
Burnley, who are having their worst start that they've had to a Premier League season. 11 points in the opening 16 games. They've never been this few points to show for their endeavours this far into a campaign in the past. And we know that Sean Dyche is well able to produce miracle comebacks and survival efforts in the second half of the season, but he's going to have to do it from further back than ever before here. Harrison trying to nod the ball back to Meslier there inside the Leeds penalty area, put a little bit too much on it, and Meslier scampering out, wasn't able to keep it in play. So a little bit needlessly here, Leeds have conceded a corner.
I think that's what Burnley are doing. They're forcing the wide plays to go all the way back, putting the ball in there, have a decision. And Jack Harrison's header there was just a little bit too fine from Meslier, but I think he could have kept it in.
Yeah, 8 minutes on the clock. Corner is taken short, back out to McNeil. Disappointing attempt the second time round. McNeil, whose delivery is normally so good, but that was a really poor attempt straight at Rafinha. Now the ball is cleared away. So no goals here. Brighton 1-0 up at Goodison Park, and the other 2 o'clock kickoff taking place at the moment is at Brentford. Aston Villa are the visitors, and here's Jonathan Overend.
No goals here either, Connor. 8 minutes played. Brentford 0, Villa 0. No chances on goal either. Villa with Ings down the centre, Buendia playing just to his left and Traore just to his right. McGinn with a left foot shot over the bar. That's the first effort on goal. 0-0.
Thanks very much. Brentford, who were 14th in the Premier League at the start of today. That is 2 places above Leeds. Leeds 4 points behind them as things stand. It's an important day at the bottom of the table, and I guess, Michael, and I know you know with your Manchester City connections you won't be too worried about this, but we're in danger of not having much jeopardy in the title race. I still think the relegation battle is going to be really good this year, though. That could be where the excitement is.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Watford, who look awful at the moment. Newcastle United, what they're going to spend, which players are going to bring in. So Leeds United just hanging above that. Brentford we've just discussed, and so anybody at the moment could fall into that trap. Norwich City unfortunately covered their game at Crystal Palace. There's a Crystal Palace side who were missing several players, were really poor.
Here come Leeds United, still 0-0 here on 5 Live in the Premier League at Elland Road. Roberts' ball in field was intended for Click, but it was pushed forward, and Lowton has gone down and he's hurt, and the yellow card is going to be produced here. Now Roberts, who had lost possession, went lunging in to try and win it back again. He was late on Lowton, he's caught him, and although Paul Tierney hasn't shown the yellow card yet, he's out of the pocket. He is about to book the Welsh international Tyler Roberts. The boos in the background will tell you what the Leeds United fans think about that, but I think Roberts did catch Lowton there. We're about to see a replay of it on our monitors.
Well, he did, and then you see it. I think the Leeds United supporters don't even understand why the yellow cards come out. The studs have gone above the ankle bone, right into there, to the top of his, sort of the little bone that comes out of the lower part of his shin. That'd be a real sore one, because his ankle was in the ground. The foot comes across, and it's a dangerous challenge.
He will now miss the next game, Tyler Roberts. That is his 5th yellow card. Leeds, who have got 2 games back-to-back away from home against West Ham, both of them first in the FA Cup and then in the Premier League, so he'll be allowed playing the FA Cup game, but he'll be suspended for the Premier League game, is how I think it works. This game, by the way, is the cut-off point. If you're on 4 yellow cards and you don't get booked today for Leeds, the 19th game of the season, it doesn't carry through after this, but Tyler Roberts picking up that yellow card. Lowton is up, he is clearly hurt, but he's hobbling. I mean, I'm sure he'll be okay to continue. That did hurt him, though. He wasn't doing any sort of play acting there. Proper stamped upon.
No doubt about it. That's a real sore one on the ankle bone, and luckily there was some ball.
So free kick to Burnley. Wayne Hennessy, who made his Premier League debut for the club at Old Trafford on Thursday. He has played against Leeds before, but only once, Wayne Hennessy, in his career, and that was right back in his early days when he was a Yeovil player, and he played against them in the Championship 8 or 9 years ago. He's got possession away to our left-hand side. He rolls it out short to Ben Mee, the Burnley captain. Ben Mee has scored an own goal against Manchester United on Thursday. Charlie Taylor is forced to retreat here. Back into Ben Mee. Leeds deploying a high press, and Burnley are forced to play it long. Dallas wins a header on the halfway line. It comes down eventually for Cork to get it back down on the deck, and then he gives it away in the midfield. Forshaw sliding, and that's another challenge that doesn't look great at normal speed. Mind you, the challenge was on Gudmundsson, and he doesn't make any sort of song and dance about it as they get to play on here. The ball ends up back with Hennessy, the Burnley keeper, away to our left.
He's straight up. I've just seen, obviously, Ian Woan, who I know very well, Sean Dyche's assistant, and we talk about player care. It'd be like, Matty Lord, get yourself up, mate.
Just on that, and I enjoy that conversation you were having pre-game with Nigel Rear-Coker about player care. We'll just see what Leeds do on their attack here before we come back to that. Roberts onto Harrison on the left wing. Good touch to come in field of Lowton. However, it's straight to Tarkowski. That was a promising position for Leeds on the edge of the Burnley penalty area, and it wasn't a great pass, and Tarkowski was able to clear the ball away. You know, you talk about the games coming thick and fast. When you're a player, would you prefer to have a game every few days and maybe, I'm assuming, not as intense training sessions, or you play Saturday, but your manager runs you midweek?
Well, you don't. If you're playing in the week, you've obviously got to rest. You take those training levels down. The perfect scenario for me is 1 on, 1 off. Yeah. That is the perfect scenario. You can get you. So we all want to play under the lights. We want to play those night games. There's some fantastic games in the middle of the week that we know all throughout this country that we all enjoy playing in. But then the next week, can you have that rest? That's a perfect scenario. Then you can get the work in that you need on the training ground.
Yeah. 0-0 here in the still early stages. Down goes Aaron Lennon. Gives an accusing look at the referee, but there's no whistle. Lennon will regain possession here. Little nodded header down, intended for McNeil, is picked up for Leeds by Forshaw. Been a great story, Adam Forshaw. He's returned to the elite game, having been out of it for so long with that long-term injury, and this is now his 11th appearance in the Premier League this season, having not played hardly in 3 years in the top flight. This is Dallas, right-hand side for Leeds, placing off Ben Mee, knowing that it would go out for a Leeds United throw. So that's an attacking throw for Leeds near the corner flag that they attack down the right-hand side. Still no goals though. Michael Brown.
Adam Forshaw, wonderful story to come back from so many injuries to finally get games in the Premier League for Leeds.
Click to the byline, will not get there ahead of the ball, so it goes out for a goal kick. I interviewed Adam Forshaw when he made his first start back, and he admitted, he said he'd had dark moments. He didn't think it was going to happen for him. He was going to be one of those players who, everyone says, oh, what a promising career he had, and he never got to finish it. But isn't it brilliant to see him back and playing so well?
It's fantastic. What's probably gone against him was the loading, the amount of games he's had to play, but that rest for him in particular would have come in at the right time, and hopefully he can stay fit. We actually interviewed myself and Jonathan Woodgate after the Arsenal game to see how delighted he was to be back, to be playing, to be enjoying his football. And obviously Jonathan Woodgate on this channel gets special treatment still off Mark Chapman because he's relatively new, but it's soon changing when he asks Chappers questions.
Absolutely. Quarter of an hour played here. Forshaw, who's needed by Leeds these days, been the continued absence of Kalvin Phillips, who is here today. We just saw him on our monitor wearing a very trendy baseball cap in the crowd. The rain still coming down heavily. Burnley playing from left to right in their change dark strip today. And the ball is played back into the centre circle, and for James Tarkowski. And he gives it into the midfield and to Ashley Westwood. Now Lennon midway into Leeds territory, still central location of the pitch for Burnley. They've seen a lot of the ball in the early stages, Sean Dyche's team, and the ball is given away. Westwood to Tyler Roberts, chance here for Leeds. There's been a goal at Brentford, will go in a moment, but here's Forshaw bearing down on the Burnley penalty area. Harrison outside him to the left, tries to cross, comes off Jack Cork. It's a corner to Leeds. Let's go to Brentford. Jonathan Overend.
Aston Villa take the lead here, and it's a beautiful goal as well, set up by Buendia and finished by Danny Ings, and Villa fans will hope that that's a combination which bears fruit in the second half of the season. Lovely feet, almost FIFA-like skill from Buendia, and a crisp left foot finish from Ings. Brentford 0, Villa 1.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. Corner hasn't been taken yet. Leeds have sent up the big men from the back. Here it comes from Dallas. Low delivery though, and Ben Mee stretches out his left boot and puts it out for Leeds United throws, so they will remain on the attack. This is Click into Dallas, 10 yards from the byline, left-hand side where he'd just taken the corner. Nutmeg on McNeil into the penalty area. Shot on target from Stuart Dallas, and it was slightly fumbled by Hennessy, but he retrieved it quickly, and that will count as an attempt on target for Leeds. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it's great skill, wasn't it? Stuart Dallas in a tight area, just put it onto his right foot, little nutmeg, and Burnley have to clear the line, do a little bit better. The zonal marking on the edge of the 6-yard box, couple of markers and 2 on the post. Thought they looked comfortable, but full credit to Leeds.
Junior Firpo has picked the pocket of Dwight McNeil here. He plays it in front of Click to the byline left-hand side. Leeds have improved in recent minutes. Harrison inside the penalty area, tries to send it on, but Tarkowski challenges him. Burnley clear it away, but only as far as Stuart Dallas. 20 yards outside the penalty area, lofts it back over to this near touchline the left. Click sends it back in with interest, too much on it, and it sails over everyone and out for a goal kick. So still 0-0 here. The game which is still warming up. There was an early goal at Goodison, Everton against Brighton, and Maz Faruqi is watching for us.
Yeah, Everton still trail 1-0, Connor. We've had a break in play here. There's been an injury to Yves Bissouma. It looks like an injury to his right hand. He's had some strapping put on that, which has paused the game here for a couple of minutes. Before that, Everton was starting to build some momentum. There's no sniff of goal yet, though, for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Still Everton 0, Brighton 1.
Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, so many people will be pleased to see him back in action. He's missed so much football this season, just as he was absolutely flying. Let's check in on one of the 2 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship to the Hawthorns. Happy New Year, Pat Murphy.
You too, Colin. West Brom 0, Cardiff 0. Colin Connor. All very aimless at the moment. Throw-ins from Cardiff, long throws. Grant at the other end. Clear shot just past the post. West Brom 0, Cardiff 0. Connor.
Thanks, Paddy. A chance from Rafinha from the halfway line. He tries to lob the goalkeeper, and it goes over the crossbar. What an attempt for the Brazilian. That was not far away at all, Michael Brown. He's 7-8 yards inside the Burnley half, and how relieved is Hennessy to see that just sail over.
Incredible effort. You've got to watch this. I just don't believe he has the audacity to try it. Chips it from miles away, and he's seen Hennessy backtrack, and he's thinking, can I recover? Where's it going? He realises he can't. It's the top of the crossbar and goes over. What a goal that would have been.
A let-off for Burnley, that's for sure. That was some Brazilian magic on a wet day in Yorkshire. That was right out of the Samba playbook from Rafinha. What a good player he is to watch. Here come Burnley down the other end. Chris Wood back to goal, trying to turn Llorente. Well held up by the Spaniard. Leeds are able to clear it away to Tyler Roberts. Midway inside his own half, shrugs off Gudmundsson. It's a game that's been played at a very fast pace. Roberts sells another little dummy, this time to Aaron Lennon. That's the applause from the Leeds fans. They enjoyed that. Junior Firpo, then is closed down by Dwight McNeil, but holds on to possession just about, the Spaniard. And now Forshaw's got a swivel near the halfway line. The high press continuing here from Burnley. Leeds United players shouldn't really be able to settle, but they're trusting their own skills here. They're just holding onto the ball. They're selling little dummies. It's very good for Marcelo Bielsa's team. Llorente gives it short to Harrison, right beside Sean Dyche down there, who continues to bellow on the instructions in that gravelly voice of his. Llorente back to Koch under pressure from Wood. Leeds forced all the way back to the goalkeeper here. Sean Dyche will be loving that pressure, which isn't ended yet, by the way. Gudmundsson comes in to put the pressure on Ayling now, but Ayling again backs himself, doesn't panic. Leeds play it out, and it's a good game to watch here from that point of view, how Leeds are trusting themselves in possession. Click rolls it in front of Rafinha. Now the acceleration into the penalty area. Taylor makes the challenge, and the ball goes out for a corner. Corner to Leeds in the driving rain at Elland Road.
Wonderful play. Forshaw doing pirouettes, set the movements up, but Colin, hasn't it, opened up this game now? Down the right hand side, Rafinha, excellent as he drives and forces that corner.
Corner to Rafinha and Leeds, and he prepares to send it in, and their players are all huddled on the edge of the penalty area here, but now they'll disperse in towards the goal as it's curled in. Gudmundsson wins a header of the front post. Tarkowski tries to head it away. Luke Ayling jumps with Westwood, and then it's played cleverly by Click back out to Rafinha on the right hand side. He plays in a low ball. Junior Firpo with a little flick. That was so inventive, and somehow it goes out for another corner. How did that not end up in the back of the net? Junior Firpo with a little flick on the inside of his boot. It came back off a defender and still ricocheted a second time with the goalkeeper out of position. That was so close to the opening goal here. It's a corner to Leeds. There is another goal at the Everton-Brighton game, though, and here's Mazparouki.
And the goal scorer has turned provider for Brighton's second. McAllister with an in-swinging corner. Dan Burn jumping highest in the box. Brighton second, Everton 0, Brighton 2.
Thanks very much, Maz. Leeds have got the corner. It will be Rafinha to take. Raises his right arm as a signal, sends it in low with plenty of whip. Gudmundsson puts it out for another corner kick. This is all 100 miles an hour stuff, Michael Brown, but you think the opening goal is going to come? We played a quarter of the match now.
Hopefully. You can just see behind the goal the atmosphere is increasing. Matches clicked, puts it out wide. Rafinha, good ball in, and there's Junior Firpo just flicked it. Good save near post.
Here's the latest delivery, higher this time. Lowton wins the header in front of his goalkeeper. Dallas fancies a pop with the retrieval ball 10 yards outside the penalty area, but there was a forest of players in front of him, and eventually Aaron Lennon clears it away, out for a Leeds United throw on the left-hand side. If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, Leeds United 0, Burnley 0. We've got Chelsea against Liverpool to come with John Murray and Karen Carney at 4:30. Everton are 2-0 down at home to Brighton, which will just increase the pressure on Rafa Benitez. At Ewood Park, Blackburn are hosting Huddersfield Town in the Championship. It's also a 2 o'clock kick-off, and Betty Glover is there for us. Betty.
Hello, it's 0-0 here. It did kick off late. We had a delayed start due to traffic outside the stadium. We're about 7 minutes in. Blackburn definitely looked the more threatening in the area. Brilliant one from Kadra was laid off to Buckley, whose shot was blocked. Kadra also flew one in, but it came off the post. Remember, they could go to second today. It is Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0.
Thanks very much, Betty. Michael, you were discussing about Berriton and the goals he's been scoring and whether Blackburn want to keep him or do they sell him for money. The one sort of advisory I put it, Adam Armstrong, who scored, was at 29 goals for them last season. They took the cash, they've sold him to Southampton. He scored 2 goals this time around. I mean, one great season, it doesn't guarantee it'll always follow.
It doesn't guarantee, but we're going into the Premier League, totally different, isn't it? And depends on your side, depends on your run of games, how many goals are you scoring in the Premier League, and it's about results. Southampton inconsistency not helped him.
It's a big step up, but I think Blackburn, if offered the money again.
Look at the position though. Do you want to make where do you think, can we just hang on for a couple more months? Be all the difference.
Absolutely. I mean, ideally they keep they do a deal now to sell him in the summer, but keep him in the interim. Here at Elland Road, no goals. Been a lively game though. Played at a very fast pace as Forshaw rolls it out to Ayling on the right hand side. It is a back 3 for Leeds. Ayling, Cook and Llorente, the 3 central defenders. Dallas almost in that João Cancelo way is like playing 2 positions, isn't he? He's wing back, but he's also a midfielder when required. Here is Harrison, another player with Manchester City connections, coming in field of Dwight McNeil, rolls it back for Forshaw, midway inside the Burnley half. He's got Junior Firpo outside him on the left-hand side. Now pushes it in front of Mateus Klick. Cross on the left-hand side is blocked by Tarkovsky. Header from Westwood isn't very convincing. Forshaw was nearly able to nip in, but he can't. Burnley were able to clear it away. Still 0-0 here, and a penalty at Goodison. Mazparouki.
There is a penalty for Everton, Connor, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is about to take it. It was a foul by Mwepu on Anthony Gordon, which the video technology had another look at. The referee then gave the penalty, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin blasts it over the bar. He has missed that penalty for Everton, and they still trail 2-0 to Brighton here.
Oh, Rafa Benitez, how is your look? Calvert-Lewin, who has every right to be rusty, having been out injured for so long, but 2-0 down at home, midway through the first half, and Everton missed the penalty, Michael. Oof.
Incredible. I just called it. Jules will verify it. I did feel it's just one of those things when it's difficult for your side, and what more can Everton do? But just going back to the chance here from Firpo as the cross comes in from Rafinha, it was almost like a little Cruyff flick with the inside of his heel, deflected Hennessy down the left-hand side. So that's been a real good opportunity for Leeds United. They're certainly getting more opportunities, more possession, and coming into this game.
This is 5 Live from the BBC. We're live at Elland Road. The rain has been constantly falling since kick-off, and it is 0-0 here with a free kick to the visitors Burnley, which Hennessy takes. The keeper coming almost to the halfway line to loft it into the penalty area. Llorente wins the header for Leeds and gets good distance on clearing it away. I think that is only the 3rd penalty that Dominic Calvert-Lewin had ever taken in the Premier League. He'd scored the first 2, but that is, it just shows, when things are not going your way, as they are not for Everton at the moment, they really they really can conspire against you, and Everton still trailing by 2-0 there. So, possession with Leeds. Ilan Meslier, youngest goalkeeper to play in the Premier League this season. I was looking at the stats actually, Michael. He's conceded more goals than any other Premier League keeper this season, which you will say, well, okay, that's a negative. He's also made more saves than any Premier League goalkeeper this season, which is very much in his positive. Click here tries to get it around the back of Westwood. Leeds United fans wanted a free kick there for a foul on Firpo. Referee wasn't interested. Burnley come counter-attacking down the other end. Aaron Lennon does a little Cruyff turn on the edge of the penalty area. That's a good whipped-in cross with his right boot. Chris Wood tried to get on the end of it but couldn't, and Leeds are able to clear the ball away. 0-0 it remains. Tyler Roberts picks up possession, plays it too far in front surely of Rafinha, and Hennessy comes out of his penalty area and is able to clear it away. Michael.
Yeah, it was good play, wasn't it, down the right-hand side. Aaron Lennon, just with his pace going on the shoulder, but a bit of uncertainty now. Leeds United supporters and players get frustrated, but once Aaron Lennon gets you 1v1, he's still got it. Just moves it out to the right-hand side. That little crossover, Luke Ayling does very, very well. He just blocks Chris Wood run, and that's what you need to take the pressure off your side. But finally, some intent from Burnley.
If you're listening to 5 Live in the build-up to the game, Jonathan Overend was speaking about Josh Feeney, who's a 16-year-old that Aston Villa have on the bench today. When Aaron Lennon started his career, he came out of the youth academy here at Elland Road. He made his league debut when he was only 16 years of age. I mean, he's 34 now. Aaron Lennon has been playing since black and white TV. I mean, if you think about it, he's just always been there. Here's a delivery from the corner for Burnley into a busy penalty area. Leeds have got plenty of bodies back there able to clear away. Click on the edge of his own penalty area trying to hold it up, and now Junior Firpo will put it onto Rafinha. Here's that Leeds breakaway charge that they love so much. Junior Firpo, the left back, plays it into the penalty area to Tyler Roberts. He turns, tries to take on Lowton a second time. He didn't have that luxury, but he wins a corner, and that counter-attack continues to threaten for Leeds United. Burnley had to scamper to get back there.
You talked about Aaron Lennon with his pace, but Leeds United very, very quick on the counter. Firpo gets out, Roberts just backing up behind, but as Burnley get all of their players to see it out for a corner. Good recovery, but great counter-attack from Leeds United.
Rafinha trots across to take it, and he rolls it short to Mateus Click. Here comes the cross on the right-hand side. Chris Wood jumped and didn't get a touch, squirted beyond Ayling, and goes out for a throw-in, which will be for the home side, and Leeds remain on the attack. Taken quickly by Jack Harrison. 0-0 here on 5 Live. Forshall plays it in too close to the goalkeeper and held onto by Wayne Hennessy. Terrible distribution by Hennessy. He's given it away to Rafinha. Shot from the edge of the penalty area is too high. Hennessy gets away with that one.
Well, Stuart Dallas, you know that's what he does. He anticipates the ball out from Hennessy, straight on top of it. Gives it to Rafinha, and at that point thinking he's that left foot curler, he's the quality, into the far right hand corner, but it wasn't so good. Right over the bar. He should do better than that.
It's a couple of chances now for Rafinha from long range. You can see the highlights tonight, match of the day 2 on BBC One from 10:30 with Mark Chapman, who's got Alan Shearer and Jermaine Genius alongside him this evening. Speaking of young players, by the way, Aaron Lennon 16 when he made his debut here at Leeds, and Josh Feeney, who might play as a 16-year-old for Villa if he comes off the bench today. In their last game, Leeds, they had a 15-year-old on the bench. Archie Gray, who is a great nephew of the Leeds legend Eddie Gray. He was born in 2006.
Yeah, I played with his dad, Andy Gray, with Leeds United.
I was going to say you played with his granduncle.
No,
not quite that.
I played with his dad. Come on, slow down a bit. Yeah, good genes.
Yes, that is proper Leeds United DNA, isn't it? When your surname
they bring
is
some
Gray.
players through here. It's a full credit to Leeds United.
Yeah. And still do, you know, that supply line, and time again, and we've seen it, some high-profile cases where other clubs often try to come in and poach the young players from Leeds United. And they've got more clout, of course, these days as an established Premier League club now, and those youngsters might well want to stay. Here is Roberts putting a little bit of pressure on Ben Mee. It was a challenge on the edge of the penalty area. Ben Mee, who is made of the toughest teak, holds off that challenge from Roberts and rides the storm, and it's still 0-0.
Just going back to Aaron Lennon, when he first came to Spurs, Connor, he did some testing regarding the electronic gates to see how fast you are over the 20 yards. Incredible.
Wow.
absolutely incredible over the first 20.
Yeah, he always had that pace in his career, and I guess it's testament that at 35 next birthday he's still operating as a Premier League player. He won't have that exact pace anymore, but he can still hold his own in a sprint. This is Westwood flicking on towards Loughton. Good challenge again from Forshaw, right in the face of Matthew Loughton there. Forshaw goes in a second time to win a flick-on header. Leeds United fans are enjoying the display from Adam Forshaw today. And then Firpo comes in on Loughton, and Leeds United are winning the 50-50 battles at the moment. Half an hour played 0-0.
The supporters love it, don't they? There's a little bit of grit, a little bit of determination. You can hear them just all behind the goal, getting behind the team. But I'll tell you, the Burnley players won't disappoint. They'll also be right in behind it. It's a little altercation now. Faltini just bringing in Ben Mee, the skipper. But there was a late challenge right on the end of his toe from Forshaw.
Yeah, Forshaw complaining to the referee about it, and I think he was making his case a little too forcefully, and the referee, Paul Tierney, having a word. But it was full-blooded from Forshaw, that's for sure. But he gets away with that one. So 0-0 here for now. We're going to take an update from elsewhere. I think we're going to Brentford. I hope that's right. Brentford Community Stadium. And Jonathan Overend watching the early progress there. Jonathan.
Here whenever you need us, Connor. Villa 1-up. That goal from Danny Ings, and it was an absolute beauty as well. You'll want to see that one tonight. Their link-up play is excellent. Buendia and Ings seem to be developing a real relationship. Up the other end, Brentford at least have just had their first effort on goal. Jensen over the bar, and it was well over. Brentford 0, Villa 1.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. 0-0 here. Burnley fans hoping for their first away win in the Premier League this season. They're defending to do here. Tyler Roberts turns in the penalty area. Tarkowski drops it. Rafinha tries to beat a man, but he can't bring the ball with him. Burnley now look to play it out of trouble. It's a long ball up towards Chris Wood, and Ayling does a good man-marking job on him. And here come Leeds United again. Ayling onto Rafinha. That's a lovely flick. Click back out to Ayling. Neat triangular passing. Now the cross is good. Roberts gets up, and the header is agonisingly wide. What a goal that would have been. They worked that from midway inside their own half, Leeds, and in the space of 3 or 4 passes, it was just wide. Super build-up. Marcelo Bielsa will be loving that.
Well, it was a great move, wasn't it? Matthews cleared out to Luke Ayling, who anticipated, won the ball off Wood as he crosses it in. I think it's hit his ponytail at the back of his head. Roberts has got to do better. It might have been in an offside position, but just going back, it was after Burnley's opportunity. Great ball in from the left-hand side. Charlie Taylor. Chris Wood just a touch with the inside of his right step. Right in front of Meslier. Great save from the young goalkeeper.
Yeah, super save from Meslier down the other end. And Wayne Hennessy relieved he didn't have to make a save. And I don't want to be unkind to Tyler Roberts, but I just wonder with that opportunity, the cross from out wide, if that's Patrick Bamford fit and playing in there, Michael, and I don't want to be unfair, but because they're a different style of player,
But you're going to be.
Well, he's got number 11 on his back, right? He's not an out-and-out number 9, Tyler Roberts.
He's got to score there, Connor.
Yeah.
He's got enough time. You can see the flight of the ball. The delivery was so good that you can see it coming. I must say, though, it might have been an offside. We were right above it. We're looking right down the line. It was tight.
Yeah. Well, maybe it wouldn't have counted anyway. This is good Munson for Burnley. A game that continues to be played at a very fast pace, and I guess any opponent, when you come to Elland Road, that's what you've got to do. You've got to have your running shoes with you. Still seeing close-ups on our monitor of Meslier, and he's very good save, which has been his standout moment of the game so far to deny Chris Wood another goal. That's another one that was close. I think that would have been onside, though, had it ended up in the back of the net. But chances, but no goals here with 10 minutes to go to the break on 5 Live from the BBC. Here is Roberts. Nice little layoff to Click. I've got to be really nice to him, Roberts, now, because you made me feel bad about that, Michael. But there is a goal at the Hawthorns. West Brom playing Cardiff at 2 o'clock kickoff of the Championship. Pat Murphy.
And it's gone to Cardiff and is scored by James Collins from a corner. Off his face, really. He'll say it was a header, doesn't matter. 6 yards out, despite a tremendous effort by Johnson to get it. But more importantly, the Cardiff fans, who have been fantastic in this first half, they've been absolutely delirious by this. They've held on, Cardiff, and now they've got the breakaway goal. West Brom 0, Cardiff 1.
Thank you very much, Pat. 0-0 between Leeds United and Burnley here. The rain still falling heavily at Elland Road. Wayne Hennessy comes way out of his penalty area again to take the free kick. It's too close to his opposite number, but Mellier's punch goes straight up into the air. He comes the second time, swings his left fist at it, doesn't get distance again. Mellier retreats to his goal line. Westwood tries to drill in a shot. Too many bodies in the way. Ayling tries to play it out of trouble. He's helped by Forshaw. Really good from Leeds. So confident in possession. And now Roberts can sprint, and he gets in around the back of Ben Mee. Wide position on the left-hand side for Leeds. Roberts, low ball into the penalty area, looking for Rafinha, who gets a touch, but all he can do is put it wide. Goal kick to Burnley, but these lightning fast counter-attacks from Leeds are just exhilarating to watch.
Yeah, it was great play, wasn't it? Forshaw breaking it up, Matches Click just setting Roberts away. Ben Mee just trying to head the ball away, he couldn't. But then the movement in the centre of the pitch, Charlie Taylor didn't know whether to stick or twist. Rafinha dropped his shoulder one way, went to that across the front post. A good defend in the end, good recovery. Roberts' ball just couldn't find Rafinha.
Leeds 0, Burnley 0. These sides drew 1-1 when they met at Turf Moor back in August. Chris Wood scored for Burnley. Patrick Bamford scored for Leeds. They don't meet in the top flight very often. It's only the fourth meeting since the mid-1970s in the top flight for Burnley and Leeds. As Roberts again does well with the flick and finds Click. And now Rafinha out on the right wing, midway inside Burnley territory. Burnley working hard to get bodies back behind the ball. Click gets onto it again. He's now level with the edge of the penalty area. Crossing position on the right-hand side. Stuart Dallas close to him. Rafinha makes a run. Can he get on the end of it? Good defending by Taylor. Got his body in between the ball and Rafinha, and then just shielded and shepherded it and helped it out. Trickle for a goal kick to Burnley, 0-0.
Yeah, he did really well, didn't he, Charlie Taylor, because the pace of Rafinha, magically just waiting. Little nutmeg on Jack Cork would be disappointed, but as you're trying to usher it right in front of your goal, you've got to be so careful. Rafinha just doesn't nick it, but his body is in the right place just to usher it out.
So Hennessy will have the goal kick away to our left, and he sends it good distance up over the halfway line. Cock is beaten in the air by Wood, but then it's chested down by Llorente, and he clears it right-footed over the halfway line and back into Burnley territory. Tarkowski makes a mistake. He's given it to Harrison, an unforced error. Harrison into the penalty area. Tarkowski scrambling to get back. Shot on target, saved by Hennessy, but it's in the second time. Jack Harrison scores for Leeds United. His first shot came back off the goalkeeper, straight to him. Could have gone anywhere. Went straight back to Harrison, and instantly he reacted to squeeze it in between the now fallen goalkeeper and his near post. That was Tarkowski's error that led to that. He should have cleared it away. He gave it to Harrison, but there was still work to be done, Michael Brown.
Yeah.
And Jack Harrison did really well. Leeds 1, Burnley 0.
Yeah, there was great work from Harrison. He was anticipating, he was on the front foot, waiting for that mistake, and he certainly got it, and then he put all the pressure as he backed James Tarkowski into the area. Good save by Hennessy when he moved it onto his right-hand side, but as the ball comes back out, just sweeps into the near post. The goalkeeper couldn't get up quick enough, right in front of the home supporters who go crazy. But Burnley would be so disappointed with a mistake, but full credit to Jack Harrison. Great play, great determination. You get your rewards sometimes.
It's his first goal in 18 Premier League appearances, stretching back to last season. He did score against Leeds at Turf Moor when these sides met in the previous campaign. But that is a goal for Jack Harrison. That is so important for Leeds United. They started today just 2 places above the relegation zone. They'd been on a real slide with a recent run of disappointing results. But Jack Harrison rewards the counter-attacking verve that Leeds have shown in this first half. And he did need 2 bites of the cherry, and I think Hennessy will be disappointed with how it was dealt with. I mean, I've sympathy for the goalkeeper that, you know, the shot could have repelled anywhere. It's gone straight to where he didn't want it to go, straight back to Harrison.
But still at the front post, when you're jumping up on the second one, I think he's got to stop it.
Only his second appearance in the Premier League for Burnley for Wayne Hennessy, but of course a very experienced international goalkeeper and knows all about top flight football. He will be disappointed by that. So Leeds lead Burnley by the goal to 0. What's the latest development from an exciting first half at Goodison Park. Everton and Brighton, Mas Farouki.
Still Everton 0, Brighton 2, Connor. Seamus Coleman has forced quite an acrobatic save from Sanchez in the Brighton goal, though, and Anthony Gordon almost poked in the rebound as well. So Everton trying to be positive and on the front foot since that penalty miss from Calvert-Lewin, but they still trail 2-0.
And a couple of chances at Ewood Park. Betty Glover.
It's Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0. Blackburn dominating this. Should have scored through Van Heck, who got on the end of a free kick but fired it straight at Nichols in goal. Better from Huddersfield, though, who moments later nearly scored with a diving header. It was Holmes, but it was well saved by Kaminski. It's 0-0.
That's very much so. 1-0 to Leeds. How are Burnley going to react to this? And certainly put a little bit more wind in the sails of Marcelo Bielsa's team. Here they come down the right-hand side with Stuart Dallas. Taylor comes out against him, leans into Stuart Dallas. The ball had gone out for a throw-in anyway. It's not going to be a free kick. Dallas takes the throw quickly. Back to Luke Ayling. Crossing position on the right-hand side. Has to elude Aaron Lennon first. Now he sends in the delivery. Looking for Harrison to the far post, who stretches and slides, but all he can do is shunt it out for a Burnley goal kick. So Leeds, who've conceded exactly twice as many goals as they had scored this season before today, with their noses in front. Leeds, who won this game last season here by a goal to nil. Could 1-0 be enough today? And apart from that one very good save from Meslier, have Burnley offered enough for you, Michael Brown?
Not necessarily going forward. You can see the organisation, what they build from, but then you get that opportunity away. Sean Dyche will be really disappointed that Chris Wood didn't take it, but you do feel like Leeds United's energy and endeavour creating, and that's why the goal come.
Another goal just before half-time at the Brentford Community Stadium. Jonathan Overend.
Well, we've seen a couple of cracking goals here today, and an equaliser for Brentford. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. Villa, who've seen virtually all of the ball, will feel they maybe should be more than one up, but the equaliser has come through Johan Visser, his third of the season. Beautiful curler on the left foot after being set up by Canos. It's Brentford 1, Aston Villa 1.
Thanks very much. Leeds win a corner here at Elland Road. They are the team on top. Rafinha goes out to take it, and Charlie Taylor just representing the pressure that Burnley are under. Waste time, holds onto the ball and is slow to... Hang on, is there a problem with the ball? Why aren't they giving the ball? They do eventually give the ball out to Rafinha on the right-hand side. So corner to Leeds, the rain pouring down, the goal from Jack Harrison. He's first in the Premier League this season. He did score twice against Crewe in the League Cup in August. And Leeds would love to double this lead ahead of the break. Rafinha gives it to Dallas. There's no one marking him. He tries a side-footed shot, which Tarkowski is able to clear away. Forshaw will pick up the pieces for Leeds. Gives it to the goal scorer Harrison on the left wing. Manages to shrug off Cork. Good ball. Roberts, excellent flick. Junior Firpo blazes it over. That was another really good build-up from Leeds. Beautiful, delicate touch from Tyler Roberts. And Junior Firpo, who's never scored in English football, well, he saw his name in lights there, but he blazed it over the top.
He did. He's got to do better than that. It was a great run. Jack Harrison starting it. Little touch by Roberts. Burnley defenders getting right across it. Possibly that's why he hits the ball high. You'd expect it to hit the target, far corner. Junior Firpo has two opportunities for him.
So Leeds, who have dropped 15 points from winning positions this season, only Newcastle and Southampton have dropped more than that. They won't be counting any chickens quite yet, but they have the lead here, and they are playing well, and they're banging on the door for a second. And for the moment, Sean Dyche's Burnley will want to hold this steady to the break, but Ben Mee has given it away again. Another unforced error. Click in front of Roberts. He's in again for Leeds. He shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Hennessy didn't have to flinch. It's another opportunity, though, created by a Burnley mistake at the back.
And that's the point. The mistakes are coming thick and fast now for Burnley. They've got to get composure. They've got to hold the ball. Leeds United just do it so quick. The pressing's excellent. The turnover's really good on the shoulders. People making forward runs. And here they go again. They seem to have several ones.
Hot knife through butter. Click rolls it to Roberts. He's into the penalty area. He shoots again from a tight angle. But again off target. This one wouldn't have counted. Roberts was in an offside position when it was played to him. Well, normally Ben Mee and James Tarkowski are, you know, their Bank of England stuff. They are safe and solid, but they are making errors, and I think when those two are wobbly, it just creeps and seeps through the rest of the team, and they all feel a bit wobbly.
The thing is that they don't have to make them. The situations that they've made, the mistakes, especially for the first goal, he can clear it. He's got all the space in the world. He can wait. He can draw in Harrison. He doesn't have to play it. big mistakes at this level.
Roberts has had a few opportunities. I think his build-up play has been very good. His finishing is what has lacked precision. Here is Gudmundsson down the other end, and just about dealt away by Koch, who was slipping inside the penalty area as he did so, but he manages to clear the ball away. Taylor picks it up for Burnley. Good lunge forward, gives it in to Chris Wood. First time left-footed shot goes over the top. Well, that could have levelled it up ahead of half-time. Taylor winning possession from a rare Leeds United misplaced clearance, and he didn't think about that, Chris Wood. He instinctively hit it, but just over the top.
He does really well, doesn't he, Charlie Taylor, anticipating in front of Rafinha, steps forward, rides one challenge, and another really, really late lunge by Stuart Dallas, gets his head up, sees Chris Wood, pulls it back, and as he comes across right in the edge of the area, sweeps it over with his left foot, got to hit the target again.
He's a good player, Charlie Taylor. Today his 250th appearance in English League football. I remember there was controversy when he left Elland Road. I can't remember the exact details. He sort of went on strike at the end. He wanted the move, and he didn't want to play. He made himself unavailable for selection. And I remember the Leeds United manager at the time saying that, you know, I think he's been badly advised here. But he forced that move through, and he's obviously gone on to make a good career for himself at Burnley. And I think that's why he's getting a few boos today from the Leeds United fans, as Stuart Dallas gets the last touch off Gudmundsson, and that will be a throw into Leeds just on the edge of their own penalty area away to our right-hand side. It is almost half-time here. The goal from Jack Harrison came after 38 minutes. I think Marcelo Bielsa will feel, A, probably his team needed a break given the run of results they've had lately, but B, that they sort of deserve it today for the performance they've put in this 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know full well they didn't want the Arsenal game to go ahead. They felt like they were really under the cosh with personnel, COVID, injuries, etc., depleted squad. So he wanted that break. He finally got a bit of respite for his side, got some players in. I think you can see, can't you, the energy, the endeavour, the forward runs, the level of runs and the intensity that they're playing at. There were some good opportunities, wasteful finishing, but you'd be delighted to be going in at half-time 1-0.
Leeds' last win was 1-0 against Crystal Palace here in November. Since then, they've drawn with Brentford. They've lost against Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal. 3 defeats in a row for Leeds, but they've got the half-time lead here. Jack Harrison's goal, Leeds United 1. Burnley 0 for now.
Michael Brown, I must just pick up on a point you've made there. It's been fascinating to see how these breaks that the clubs have had to take due to COVID have affected different teams. But Leeds, exactly, with the intensity they play at, it just seems to have done them the world of good.
It seems to have, doesn't it? The intensity, the level that they're playing at. It's a Burnley side who obviously are quite resilient, got good energy themselves, but the counter-attacks are such a quick method of play for them, so they turn it over really well. They get people on shoulders, and the level that they sprint at, that's the difference at this level, where you can create opportunities, create chances. They've been quite wasteful. You've got to say they'll be delighted with the outcome so far in this first half.
Yeah, I think you could see that with the celebration from Jack Harrison when he did find the back of the net. You can see what it means and how much they needed that. Just with the way that he didn't sprint off towards the corner flag, it was like the relief washed over him. He only took a couple of steps, then just looked to the sky, blinked, fist pumping. Like, they needed that, didn't they, Michael?
And he did as well. There's been a little bit of criticism towards Jack Harrison. He was wonderful last year. He's had a couple of injuries. You come in and your team are not playing so well. He's not finishing games, getting injured himself, so he'll just be delighted to get on the score sheet. His first one, it was the determination in the build-up, actually anticipating where the ball was going to go. He won it, he drove Tarkowski all the way back into the box. First step, it comes back, and then he was up to get that finish into the near post with great delight, right in front of the supporters. What a feeling.
Yeah. And it did mean, well, certainly at the moment, they're not left ruining that Roberts missed header. Although, Michael, I don't know, have you ever mishit a header with a ponytail? I mean, back in the day, have you ever had a long head of hair?
I've never had a ponytail.
I don't know, yeah.
Me and a ponytail, I couldn't grow one now. I know that at my age, I'd be struggling at the back. I'd have to bring it from the front, that's for certain. But no, it was a good ball in, wasn't it? He should certainly hit the target. Might have been offside, so we'll give him the slight benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, he's got to be putting that in the far corner when he can watch it, can see it coming, and Connor said he'd have scored it.
Well, no, I think it's important to make the point. You see, all the teams are missing players at the moment, and this is an example of the square pegs and round holes. Is that, you know, Tyler Roberts isn't an out-and-out number 9. He's been asked to play that role, and that's just an example of, you know, he's been great this first half. Some of his flicks and runs have been really, really good, but they need a specialist number 9 in there the way Leeds play, and I think Bamford would have scored in that first half had he been on the pitch.
What about Burnley? I mean, they've had a couple of good opportunities as well, haven't they? And I just wonder how Hennessy will be feeling about the block he made, the way, unfortunately, it did go straight back to Harrison, did it? They've just not had that luck.
No, they haven't had the luck. He'd be disappointed with that, not to get up and recover as well. But the two centre-backs can't make mistakes. The Rafinha effort we've seen on the crossbar as well. But Burnley going forward, they've showed a little bit of intent, notably down the left-hand side. I thought Charlie Taylor's done really, really well, especially when he's got to run the other way with Rafinha. He's put one right on the edge of Wood's toe. Good save by Meslier. And then another one, Chris Wood, as he sweeps the ball in. Good work, Charlie Taylor again. Pulls the ball back and he sweeps it over the bar from 18 yards out. So they've had their opportunities. Leeds have certainly edged it, but it's been a really good, entertaining first half.
All right, chaps, we'll leave it there for now. So Leeds are ahead against Burnley thanks to Jack Harrison's goal. They're ahead by a 0-0 at Elland Road. We'll be back with our commentary team for the second half. But that match is one of 3 2:00 kickoffs in the Premier League. And next we can go to Goodison, where there was a lot of excitement and expectation around the return of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Though Maz Faruqi, it hasn't quite gone to plan, has it?
It hasn't at all, Emma. New Year, same old problems for Rafa Benitez, I'm afraid, with Everton trailing once more and the boos ringing out at half-time. And as we say, the optimism of Dominic Calvert-Lewin returning lasted all of 3 minutes. Everton's defenders were caught napping at the back. They didn't pick up Alexis McAllister as the cross came in, and the Brighton man made no mistake. No slow start from him. McAllister then set up Dan Burn for Brighton's second, but then Everton were given a chance to get back into it. Enoch Mwepu barged over Anthony Gordon in the Brighton box. The penalty wasn't given on the field initially, but we then had that now familiar routine where the referee was asked to review his decision at the pitch side monitor. He then gave the spot kick. Calvert-Lewin blasted it over the bar. Everton 0, Brighton 2.
And to West London, where Jonathan Overend is watching Brentford host Aston Villa.
1-1 at half-time here. Very lucky to have seen 2 beautiful goals as well. Danny Ings giving Aston Villa the lead on the quarter-hour mark, set up by Buendia. A beautiful turning roll from Buendia, one foot to the other, really leaving Nørgaard for dead in midfield, and his through ball allowed Ings to slot it in across goal left-footed. But really, Villa will feel that they should have added to that lead because they dominated possession. Louise and McGinn on taking over the captain's armband today, really dominating midfield. But Brentford finished the half strongly, and on 42 minutes they got the equaliser. Roslev cutting in from the right-hand side, setting up Jan Visser. It's only his 3rd Premier League start of the season, but this was his 3rd Premier League goal, 6th overall, and he took it beautifully left-footed, curling it past Martinez. So all to play for in the second half. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 1.
Jonathan, thank you. Into the Championship next then. Pat Murphy has been watching West Brom take on Cardiff City and it's half-time.
Cardiff lead 1-0, much to the delight of the travelling band of 2,000 Cardiff supporters who've been tremendous in this first half. 2 key moments. Robinson for West Brom, foiled by a superb save by Smithies, diving to his left. A few minutes later, Rawls a deflected shot, hit the side netting from the corner. Collins got ahead of his marker, Clark, and headed in from 6 yards. It's a poor game, but credit to the spirit of Cardiff. West Brom 0, Cardiff 1.
And before we go to the news, we'll go to Betty Glover, who can give us the latest in that late kick-off in the Championship. Blackburn against Huddersfield.
Yeah, still goalless here, about 40 minutes gone. Blackburn certainly playing like a team who have won 6 on the bounce, look very dangerous in the area, but haven't really managed to create anything yet. It's actually Huddersfield with their only shot on target so far. Holmes' diving header, which was well saved. The ref was actually just showing Blackburn manager Tony Mowbray a yellow card. He's been passionately protesting several decisions this first half. Remember, Blackburn could move up to 2nd today, but it is Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0.
Betty, thank you. So half-time then in our first commentary on this 5 Live Premier League Sunday. Leeds are leading Burnley by a 0-0. Thank you to Jack Harrison for that strike. We're going to be talking rugby next, bit of tennis as well, and also dipping into Chelsea against Liverpool coming up at 4:30 on 5 Live. But now it's time for the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
A senior Conservative has criticised the the government's plan to ask pupils to wear face masks in secondary schools in England from this week, saying he's concerned it will damage their mental health. Robert Halfon, who's the chair of the Education Select Committee, also said he wanted to see the evidence behind the policy, which will bring English schools into line with the rest of the UK. Jeff Barton is the General Secretary of the Head Teachers Union, the Association of School and College Leaders.
If this is a short-term fix, as the government says, and one of a number of different measures, including ventilation and moving Ofsted to the sidelines, if that's going to do what we all want and keep young people in their school or in their college, then that will, I think, be a price worth paying.
The Cabinet Office Minister Steve Barclay says he's working closely with industry leaders to establish whether there might be particular issues with COVID-related staff absences. It's thought as many as a quarter of public sector workers might be off at once as the Omicron variant continues to spread. Meanwhile, Health Minister said there's nothing in the current day to suggest more COVID restrictions are required in England. More than 1 million people have tested positive for the virus across the UK in the past 7 days, but Edward Argyle insists calm heads are needed. Ministers are due to review the current measures on Wednesday. Here's our health correspondent Anna Collinson.
We've been seeing record high numbers. Most recently, nearly 163,000 cases recorded in England alone yesterday. Now, the crucial question is, what does this mean for the NHS? We're seeing COVID hospital admissions rising. Scientists have told me they expect that trend to continue for at least another week, but they can't say just how high that peak will go.
A second 15-year-old has been arrested on suspicion of murder after another boy of the same age was stabbed in Croydon on Thursday. The first teenager to be arrested over the death has been released on bail now. And a large fire has ripped through South Africa's Houses of Parliament in Cape Town, causing the roof of the building to collapse. The country's president has confirmed that the sprinkler system had failed to activate.
The Football is Football podcast with Michael Antonio and Callum Wilson.
What we want to try and do is tell you things from a current footballer's perspective. We live, sleep, breathe the game day in, day out. To get our view is obviously something that's a little bit different.
I hate pre-season. I pull up to pre-season day one and then I go, when's the first game? And I count down every single day the Premier League starts. I'm Michael Antonio.
I'm Callum Wilson and this is the Footballers Football Podcast.
Listen only on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport.
So, second half commentary of Leeds United against Burnley is coming up. It's 1-0 at the break there at Elland Road. Elsewhere, Everton are trailing Brighton by 2-0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin returning to the starting lineup in that game for Everton for the first time since August. He has missed a penalty in that match. Meanwhile, in West London, it's 1 apiece between Brentford and Aston Villa. In the Championship, a bad week for West Brom's just got a bit worse. They're currently trailing Cardiff by 1-0, whilst it is still goalless between Blackburn and Huddersfield. There was an earlier kick-off in the Championship, 5-goal thriller at Bristol City, who have beaten Millwall by 3-2. 2 more games start shortly in League One, with Shrewsbury against Sheffield Wednesday and Morecambe hosting Doncaster. Also kicking off shortly are 3 Gallagher Premiership fixtures. Over on Sports Extra, you'll be able to hear commentary of Northampton Saints against Saracens, whilst Gloucester play Harlequins. But our base today is at Welford Road, where top of the table Leicester are hosting Newcastle, and Sarah Orchard is there for us.
Yeah, Leicester, they're unbeaten in all competitions this season, although it's a really interesting late change we've just had for them. Their back rower, Ollie Chesham, he's had to withdraw with illness, so Harry Wells is going to start. That's pretty normal. However, the cover they've brought in is wing Kini Murumurivalu onto the bench, meaning they're going to have a split of 4 backs and 4 forwards as subs. That's really unusual. Meanwhile, Newcastle is a late change for them as their prop Kyle Cooper starts, with Adam Brocklebank having to withdraw with illness.
It's the first time that they've played since it was announced that Premiership Rugby are investigating allegations against Leicester regarding historical image rights payments, Sarah.
Yeah, this story broke last Tuesday, Emma, and its confirmation came from the Premiership salary cap manager that he's looking into the Welford Road club and their historical links with a company that's now closed called Worldwide Image Management. Steve Borthwick, the Leicester Director of Rugby, he spoke when it was confirmed and said, look, the club is fully cooperating with the investigation. He stated that these links are from a time before he was at the club and before Andrew Pinchin was named their chief executive. But until we hear if Leicester are going to be charged, there's just going to be loads of speculation, isn't there? It's going to continue with all the echoes of everything that happened to Saracens back in 2020, with the points deduction, the £5 million fine and ultimately relegation.
As I mentioned also elsewhere today, Northampton Saints taking on Saracens. Director of Rugby Chris Boyd said after their defeat against Harlequins earlier this week, they need to stop being the victim. I suppose that's going to have to be the case, isn't it, against the Saracens side today?
Well, yeah, it's really strong words from Boyd, isn't it? They're a good side, Northampton, but they just have this crazy inconsistency. They've actually only lost one home game in the Premiership so far this season, but Sarries, they'll be really buoyed by the return of England hooker Jamie George back from the knee injury, and he'll captain them as he really looks to impress ahead of that very fast approaching Six Nations now in February.
Sarah, thank you. We are fast approaching second half of Leeds against Burnley at Elland Road. We're back with our commentary team very soon. But after that, we'll be heading to Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea host Liverpool. So with that, we'll bring in our chief football correspondent, John Murray, who's leading our commentary team today. Happy New Year to you, John. How are you?
Yes, good, thanks. Haven't spoken for a while, have we?
I know, it's great to hear you again. Listen, this is a huge game, isn't it, for the race for the title? Or is it? Saying that, we had Pat Nevin on earlier, and he thinks it's as good as gone already with the points gap. How do you see it?
Yeah, I can understand that. I think a lot of people outside will be saying that. Indeed, they've said it over the course of the last 24 hours, certainly over the course of the past week. And I think with what happened at Arsenal yesterday, there is that feeling that the three-horse race has turned into a one-horse race. However, you know, inside the clubs, they cannot believe that, and they have to believe that there is a chance. And, you know, we are halfway through the season. Things can change quickly, but at the moment, Manchester City just looks so powerful, so strong and so dominant. But I think in this season, with all of the things that are being thrown at the clubs, perhaps this is a season that things can change quickly.
Well, you think today both these sides will be throwing everything at it, but in Chelsea's case, it doesn't sound like it. But at 3:30, it'll be all eyes on that team sheet, won't it?
Yes, it will. And you know, all of the talk is pointing towards Romelu Lukaku being dropped for this match after that interview that he gave to Italian television, which he effectively said he wasn't happy at Chelsea and things weren't working out the way that he wanted to. It's an interesting call by Thomas Tuchel, particularly in the position that they're in, and the fact that Lukaku has scored 2 goals in his last 2 matches.
Yeah.
But if it is the case that he is going to take this action against him and leave him out, well, first of all, I think we have to see what the reaction to that will be. But also, secondly, from Thomas Tuchel, what is this? Is this going to be a one-match situation? Is he going to say, right, that's it, one match, and now we'll put it behind us? Or does it go further than that? And what does it mean for Lukaku's future? So lots of questions coming out of this once we get it confirmed in about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, just on the flip side for Liverpool, they're going to want to make the most of their superstars before they head off to the African Cup of Nations.
Well, there's that, plus the fact that, you know, there is COVID in the camp, so the team news might well bring some news of some absentees for Liverpool as well. So we're just waiting on that too.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, John. At 3:30, it will be all eyes indeed on those team sheets coming out of Chelsea against Liverpool. But in the meantime, we will be heading back to Elland Road. Before we do, though, we've got a half-time update with Betty Glover.
At half-time, it's Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0. Both sides struggling a bit with the wet conditions here, Emma. Blackburn dominated the start of this first half. Huddersfield couldn't get a look in at all. It is them, though, that have had the best chance of the game. Holmes' diving header, which was well saved by Kaminski. Rovers boss Tony Mowbray looks very frustrated, flinging his arms around. He's got a yellow for protesting some decisions today. Remember, they could move to second. It is Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0.
Betty, thank you. Right, they've kicked off at Elland Road, so without further ado, I'll hand you back to our commentary team. It's Michael Brown alongside Conor McNamara.
Thanks very much, Emma. Leeds leading Burnley by a 1-0, and Sean Dyche has responded by making an interesting half-time substitution. Maxwel Cornet, 4 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances. He's on, I say his last 6 because he's been out for the last 2. He missed the games against West Ham and Man United with the thigh injury. But there's no doubt that this now is a different prospect. Cornet, alongside Wood up front, will surely, Michael Brown, give a bit more threat for Burnley.
Well, you'd certainly hope so. It's somebody they've been wanting to get on the pitch for some time, but I did think actually Gudmundsson was very, very quiet. We didn't really feature, didn't see much what he had to offer in the first half. Your big ask for Aaron Lennon to create opportunities to get back at his age. They've got to get more possession, Conor.
5 Premier League goals since coming in, Maxwel Cornet. He's been a revelation, really, for Burnley. And this could be his last game for the club before playing for the Ivory Coast of the Africa Cup of Nations. They're in Group B with Algeria, Equatorial Guinea and Sierra Leone. I guess even from that international standpoint, he'll want to prove his fitness in this 45 minutes he's going to get now at Elland Road. But what we've seen from Cornet is you give him a chance, he knows where the back of the net is. So Leeds will need to be careful. Here come Bielsa's team, though, for the first time in the second half. Tyler Roberts tries a shot which comes back off Tarkowski. Rafinha will pick up the pieces on the right-hand side. However, the flag is raised and he'd come back from an offside position, and that will be a free kick to Burnley away to our right-hand side. So the teams, Leeds are unchanged from kick-off. Meslier, the goalkeeper. 3 central defenders, Elland, Koch and Llorente. Dallas and Junior Firpo are the wing-backs. Forshaw and Click in the middle of the midfield. Rafinha wide right, Harrison wide left, Tyler Roberts up top. For Burnley now, they've got Hennessy in goal. Loughton, Tarkowski, me and Taylor are the back four. In midfield, it's McNeil, Westwood, Cork and Lennon, with Cornet now joining Chris Wood in attack. Leeds playing from left to right as we look down. They're wearing all white, and Burnley in their dark change strip today as the ball from Elland goes all the way through to Wayne Hennessy. If you weren't with us in the first half, mistakes were the big problem for Burnley. Tarkowski made an error in the build-up to the goal. Hennessy arguably could have done a bit better. Here's Cornet trying to flick it into the path of Wood, and it's just about hooked away by Junior Firpo, but not very far. Lennon will pick it up just outside the penalty area for Burnley. Sends in across a diving header away by Luke Ayling, and then Forshaw challenges with Westwood until eventually Click puts a big boot in it and wellies it up to the halfway line. The game picking up at the pace it ended at the end of the first half. Michael Brown.
Yeah, they're just trying to get some sort of momentum, putting balls into the box. Cornet there and Wood just combining. Aaron Lennon sticking the ball back across. Luke Ayling, good defending. So we've had a real exciting first half. Leeds United with that back three, showed pace, showed power, some great counter-attacks. But now Burnley had those couple of opportunities, but they've got to do better if they're going to get something from this game.
McNeil, has he kept it in play? He has. Leeds fans thought it went out for a throw. McNeil's cross into the middle, headed away by Junior Firpo, and now Cork will pick it up. That's a good ball out towards Lennon, intercepted again by Junior Firpo. Good play twice by the Leeds United wing-back. Burnley regained possession. You can see they are trying to stamp a bit of authority on this game, which was slipping away from them in the first half. Ball over the top for Taylor to sprint after down the left-hand side. Takes on Rafinha, lobs it over him, runs into Ayling. It is a foul. I don't think it's anything more than that. Ayling's gone down in a heap. Certainly Taylor followed through into him there and collided, but I do think he was trying to play the ball. What's your view on it, Michael Brown?
Yeah, Luke Ayling's laughing with Charlie Taylor. He knows exactly why he stays down. Great skill initially over Rafinha's head. He pulls right out of it. There is contact. Referee right on top of it. A little bit of a giggle from Luke Ayling, but you don't mind that. It's no yellow card.
Right, there's a goal in the early stages of the second half of the Hawthorns. West Brom against Cardiff. Pat Murphy.
Well, it's gone down as an equaliser for West Brom, scored by Carl Robinson, but Cardiff absolutely furious. They maintain from Carlin Grant's pass that Robinson, who finished in accomplished fashion, left foot across the keeper, was palpably offside. They are absolutely furious. It's taken some time to resume action, but the scoreboard tells the facts rather than the opinion. West Brom 1, Cardiff 1.
James Collins has scored for Cardiff in the first half. Here at Elland Road, Taylor comes over the halfway line on the left for Burnley. He's held up by Rafinha. He's then pushed by Rafinha. Free kick to the visitors.
A slight push. I think it was a slight dive from Charlie Taylor. Right in front of Marcelo Bielsa, who's crouched down. No bucket this occasion. I don't think I could do that. My knees would hurt. I don't know how he gets that far down. But yeah, good play, Charlie Taylor, under a little bit of pressure. But now we know the type of delivery we'd expect. Centrally, a big long one.
A lot of big men go down very easy these days, isn't there? Just little touches, down they go in a crumpled heap as Ben Mee plays the free kick towards the edge of the Leeds United penalty area. Junior Firpo gets a touch on it. Harrison is then clipped by Westwood as he clears away. Ball goes out of play for a throw into Burnley. They will remain in the attack down the right-hand side. Cornet runs to offer himself as an option for a short throw. Loughton not interested in that. Then eventually he does. A three-man wall inside the D. There's a little mini Burnley wall being created in front of that. But there is no doubt here that Cornet is going to have a strike at this.
It's quite some distance, isn't it, still, Connor, for a curler?
It's more than 10 yards outside the penalty area. Cornet hits it, curls it. What a free kick that is! Wonderful! Around the wall, beyond Meslier. And Burnley are back to 1-1. And that man, Maxwel Cornet, shows the Burnley fans what they've been missing. That is a super free kick to score from there. Unfortunately, the celebrations have been tarnished here. A plastic bottle of fizzy drink has been thrown from the stand and it has hit some of the Burnley players.
It's hit Matty Lowton right in the face. A full bottle of fizzy drink is hit him full flush right in the face.
We saw scenes yesterday, the Arsenal-Manchester City games, of drinks being shown at players, and Lowton has been hit here by a bottle. I mean, it is clear what the object was. It was a cola bottle thrown from the supporters. It was at least half full. That would have had weight on it, and it has smacked Lowton in the face. And the trouble with this is now, look, regardless, it's 1-1. The goal is the important thing. Scenes like that, though, is what's going to lead to queues for people coming in, searches to see if people got bottles, removal of bottle tops, all that sort of stuff. And it's so unnecessary. Why someone has to feel they need to do that? And Lowton's getting medical attention now.
They can find that instantly on the videos, on the cameras. We don't see anyone leaving at this moment in time. People having a look around. That's it. The complete idiot throwing it in his face. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know maybe the celebrations have gone right towards the goal, and that they've excessed it a little bit, the Burnley players, but they haven't left the pitch. They're still on the football pitch. We can't be seeing that. It's a wonderful free kick. Melio will be slightly disappointed to his right-hand side that he doesn't get across, but great execution. What a substitution.
Where have Burnley found this guy? Maxwel Cornet. He has come in to the Premier League, and he is to the manner born. And everything he hits seems to find the back of the net. He's only been on the field a matter of minutes. He has levelled this game up already. And we did mention just before that, Michael, that there was an attitude change from Burnley. They were more determined here at the start of this second half, and they've got the reward for it, and now they're back on level terms.
Yeah, they've got the reward, and what they've done is they've gone more direct, a bit more intensity. See straight away as Wood flicks on, Llorente makes the foul, draws in with Cornet, anticipates it, doesn't he, where the ball's going to go, and doing it much quicker.
Free kick to Leeds. More on that bottle throwing shenanigans in just a moment, but Stuart Dallas is preparing to take the free kick, and he's going to have to wait because Tyler Roberts has gone down to the edge of the penalty area. He needs some treatment. Just an important thing to point out here, obviously a bottle has been thrown from what is clearly a section of Leeds United fans and striking a Burnley player in the face. Some of the Leeds fans are very upset about this too. They're trying to identify who threw it. There's one gentleman, I can see him, he's irate and he's over to his steward, and he doesn't feel that that's a good reflection of his club supporters. It's cowardly, isn't it? I mean, throwing a bottle at someone, come on, we're better than that, all of us, sure.
It's a hideous decision, and it's hit him right in the face. He's had to have treatment. Full credit, he's just got on with it and took it, but they've got to find that in the cameras straight away. I can't believe that he's not evicted already, whoever the person was. And you're entitled to celebrate and run and have that little bit of camaraderie. Yes, you don't want to overspill it and take advantage of the home supporters. We understand that. They're very passionate Leeds United fans, but they've not left the pitch. No, and they haven't let the pitch go.
Look, a million goals are scored every year, and people celebrate and whatnot. And it's just funny, having seen those scenes yesterday at Arsenal, it's almost like it breeds what's allowed. Oh yeah, that's now the done thing. That's in vogue. We throw bottles at people. I mean, they are going to need to take action, as you say. I'm sure with CCTV and whatnot, it will not be impossible to locate that with all the cameras around the stadium. Anyway, we are not missing any live action here. Tyler Roberts is very slowly hobbling towards the sideline, and it looks like Leeds are going to be forced into a change here, and they're going to bring on the youngster Joe Gelhardt. So Joe Gelhardt is going to get an opportunity here. Got his first goal for Leeds in December against Chelsea, and he will come on for what is his 8th appearance in the Premier League. 1-1 at Elland Road, and over half an hour remaining to play. And Gelhardt has shown himself to be a bright spark in what we've seen of him so far. Let's see what he can bring to the Leeds United attack. He did start up front against Arsenal in Leeds' last game.
What a welcome that is to the young man. Fantastic, must give him a huge lift. If they can get on now and score a goal, he'll lift the whole stadium.
Here's the free kick, played in by Stuart Dallas, headed it out as far as Junior Firpo, and as he was about to pull the trigger, it was taken away from him by his teammate Matthias Klick. Burnley clear the ball away. Tarkowski inside his penalty. It's a poor clearance. He's given it straight to Jack Harrison. Harrison's crossed into a busy penalty area, and Charlie Taylor rises well to head it out for a throw-in. Leeds remain on the attack down the right-hand side. This could be a good final half hour of the game now. 1-1 between Leeds and Burnley, live on 5 Live.
It looks that way. The support's lifted. Good cross, Jack Harrison. Now Leeds United's time to move the ball around, create some opportunities, but I think we're going to have a cracking ending. I can just see there's going to be end to end. Sean Dyche walking back to his technical area. He'll be pleased for his side coming back into the game, but you know full well Leeds United are going to keep going right till the end.
Both teams will feel they can win it from here, and how valuable these 3 points could prove to be come the end of the season. Two teams who started the day in the bottom 5 in the Premier League table, as Cornet runs after a long ball, but it bounces out of play, and that goes for a throw. So Leeds United 1, Burnley 1 here. Let's go back to the Brentford Community Stadium. There's been a few injuries, Jonathan O'Brien.
Yeah, still Brentford 1, Aston Villa 1, but Brentford, who've had some rotten luck with COVID and injuries of late, have had to lose 2 of their influential players early in the second half. First of all, Sergi Canos, and now Matthias Jensen have both had to come off with leg injuries, just mounting the problems for Thomas Frank. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 1.
Thanks very much. If you're just joining our coverage on 5 Live, Leeds scored just before half-time. Jack Harrison, after a mistake by James Tarkowski, and Burnley equalising with the substitute who came on during the break, Maxwel Cornet, hitting a quite wonderful free kick. It was 11-12 yards outside the penalty area. He bends it around the wall and just inside the post to beat Ilan Meslier. A very well taken free kick.
I felt it was too far out, do you know, with the wall for a curler that he was going to go across, but Meslier be a little bit disappointed that he doesn't move his feet, he doesn't get across.
Some breaking news here on 5 Live. Just over an hour's time we will bring you a commentary of Liverpool against Chelsea on the Liverpool social media channels right now. Alisson Becker, Roberto Firmino and Joel Matip have been ruled out of Liverpool's game at Chelsea today after returning suspected positive tests for COVID. That is very significant. Any one of those is a big miss, but Alisson, Firmino and Matip all out of the team. More on that as we get it. Hennessy picks up the ball inside his penalty area. Leeds 1, Burnley 1 here on 5 Live for the moment. The rain, which has not stopped for even the briefest moment since kickoff, it has been thundering down throughout. Hennessy's clearance straight down the middle of the pitch, flicked on by Wood, almost into the path of Cornet. Meslier came out and fell on it. Cornet almost did for his second.
You can see Sean Dyche straight away giving Hennessy the instructions that we're going to go really, really long into Wood. He's winning it, Cornet's getting around it. Michele managed to just pull him slightly, put him off his stride, but that's Route 1 football.
5 goals in 7 Premier League appearances now for Maxwel Cornet. His 6th Premier League goal overall since coming in to join a £15 million signing from Lyon in August. That looks such a bargain now. Well, a substitute has made a big difference for Burnley here. Let's see if the same can happen for Leeds. Marcelo Bielsa prepares to bring on another attacker. Dan James enters the fray. He will take the place of Leeds goal scorer today. He's on for Jack Harrison. Leeds on the attack, right-hand side. Click on towards Dallas. Ball goes out of play for a throw into Leeds. Dallas will leave it for Luke Ayling, the captain, who takes it short to Dallas and gets it back again, and then lofts in a right foot across from the right-hand side. Well claimed high up above his head by Hennessy, the Burnley goalkeeper. He clears it long, looking for Maxwel Cornet. Llorente jumps a bit awkwardly into him. Cornet felt he was fouled. Referee says it's okay. First chance for Dan James to sprint down the left wing, and he gets there ahead of Tarkowski. This is Dan James, cross into the middle. Oh, it was a good attempt, but Hennessy diving out ensures that it doesn't fall for Gilhart. Good break from Leeds. First we've seen of Dan James since coming on.
Yeah, it was a good break. He attacks the space very, very well. Shows composure, has a little look up onto that left foot, delivers a great ball. Hennessy dives out to the left-hand side to smother it, but it's better from Leeds United. But there's that long ball again as Wood just goes up. Ayling this time tries to get tight.
The ball bounces inside the centre circle. Tarkowski sends it forward with loads of backspin, and it's controlled by Chris Wood with his back to goal. Boos for the former Leeds United man. He tries to cross, he's blocked down by Rafinha and blocked out for a corner. Corner to Burnley on the left-hand side. Burnley have already come from 1-0 down to level this game up at 1-1 for now.
Leeds United have got to deal with that. I'd be looking for a midfield player. Yes, they've got the 3 centre-backs. I'd want someone on the toes of Wood just to try and stop that first one, the flick on. Yes, there's 2 centre-halves to look after Cornet's run, but they're not getting the first contact at the moment.
Corner will be taken by Westwood. Short run up for Burnley. Low delivery, and it was almost bundled in by Cornet at the front post. It came through the first player who launched it. It was Jack Cork, and it nearly sat up for Cornet. but it's wide in the end. Goal kick to Leeds United. Leeds, who when they took the lead and went 1-0 up, it felt a comfortable lead at the time, Michael Brown, and now they're kind of hanging on at 1-1 Leeds.
Yeah, they're hanging on there, and they just went against them there. Possibly would have been a corner. Paul Tini straight away just went with the home team.
Melier with a poor clearance. Corner with a nice flick. Cork forced to retreat though back to Tarkovsky. Burnley playing from right to left as we look down. Earlier on the championship, Bristol beat Millwall 3-2. There's the ball given away to Gelhardt. He'll run at the penalty area. McNeil tries to have a nibble on him and helped out by Ben Mee. Burnley are able to shut that counter-attack down, but another unforced error, and there's been too many of them today from a Burnley point of view for Sean Dyche's liking, and he must be worried that one of these errors is going to see Leeds United regain the lead. 1-1 for the moment, could really go either way. 25 minutes to play. Rafinha into the penalty area, tried to return it to Ayling. He's unfortunate there, he clipped the heels of a defender, but Rafinha never gives up, and he makes a challenge on Taylor, and he wins the ball briefly back, although it does go out for a throw into Burnley. But what an engine he's got, Rafinha, both in an attacking and defensive sense.
He has, and you've seen the defensive side of it. Luke Ayling there, brilliant run. That diversion down the right side. Charlie Taylor does very, very well. But then the recovery, the reaction from Leeds United. Rafinha putting that tackle in, just as Charlie Taylor tried to get away. But I keep saying it now, they've got to sort out Wood. There's going to be a problem for them.
Forshaw towards Gelhardt on the edge of the penalty area. Junior Firpo takes his eye off it, and Lennon tries to nip in. Good recovery from Junior Firpo. Lennon's not giving up though, and he continues the charge. Here's Rafinha, 5 yards outside the penalty area. Back to Junior Firpo. Brilliant from Aaron Lennon there. He tracked the run of Junior Firpo for about 50 yards there, and he was on hand to make a challenge inside the penalty area. That is brilliant from Aaron Lennon. 35 next birthday, and talk about good engines.
Sean Dyche there just shouting, Lenny, clapping his hands above his head. Wonderful defending. That's staying with your runner. Determination for your team, but it's fine balance of this game now. Who's going to make an error? Who's going to do something different? We're going to show some quality.
At the moment in the Premier League, 1-1 here between Leeds and Burnley, 1-1 between Brentford and Aston Villa. Everton were 2-0 down at home to Brighton, but they've got it back to 2-1. Let's get an update from Ewood Park in the Championship. Blackburn Rovers against Huddersfield Town. Here's Betty Glover.
It's grey, it's raining, it's cold, and it's still 0-0. Blackburn have had the better of the first half. They started the second on pretty much the same page. Had a corner which was flicked in. Harry Pickering got his head to it, but was sent over the bar. Other than that, not a lot going on. It's Blackburn 0, Huddersfield 0.
Leeds on the attack here. Rafinha into the penalty area, wins a corner off Charlie Taylor. While we wait for that, quickly to the Hawthorns and Pat Murphy.
Still 1-1 West Brom Cardiff. West Brom pushing now. Townsend's cross just in front of Robinson. Bartley a flick from a corner a yard wide. West Brom 1, Cardiff 1.
Leeds send the big men up for this corner kick. All 11 players back in the penalty area for Burnley. Rafinha, who's taken a lot of them short, sends this one in. Hennessy gathers, drops, falls on it, and manages to hold it the second time round. Just for a moment, hearts were in mouths in the Burnley defence. Wayne Hennessy manages to hold on to the ball. Quarter of the game to go, Michael Brown.
There was some contact, wasn't there, on top of Hennessy, and he says to the referee, Paul Tini, were you going to blow your whistle? He got the foul in the end of it, but heart in mouth moment where he just drops it right on the edge of the 6-yard area. But he's that direct ball again now. Robin Koch just getting in and around Woods, who's going to get the first one.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Birmingham City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. They've played over an hour there. There are 2 games taking place in League One after Sunderland and Fleetwood was postponed. Morecambe 0, Doncaster Rovers 1 for now. And Shrewsbury Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Both those games in the early stages. Here at Elland Road, this is 5 Live for the BBC. We've got coming up at 4:30, Chelsea against Liverpool. Breaking news of multiple Liverpool absentees due to COVID. John Murray and Karen Carney will be your commentary team for that very important game. And the way the title race is going, Michael, neither of those teams can afford to lose that game.
No, they can't. You've seen the pressure cover the game yesterday. The late goal from Manchester City, setting the tempo, setting the tone for the Premier League, but there's more to come.
Here's a chance for Leeds. Dallas breaks into the penalty area, but Hennessy beats him to the ball. Stuart Dallas then challenges Hennessy as Hennessy tried to clear it, but he didn't make a connection. And it's all okay, and Hennessy doesn't make a song and dance about it either, and eventually wallops the ball straight down the centre of the pitch where Robin Koch wins a header. Then Chris Wood stretches to try and regain possession, and Koch lunges in a second time. Oh, that's a good ball from Koch to pick out Rafinha. Now the outside of the left boot in front of Gelhardt. Ben Mee surely takes him down. I don't know if he'd have got there anyway, but Ben Mee tripped Gelhardt as he tried to chase after it. Hennessy, the Burnley goalkeeper, got the ball anyway and cleared away, and I think he would have done. That was a risk that Ben Mee did not need to take, and I wonder if there could be some further action about it once the ball goes dead. Play on for the moment. Mee in possession. Gives it to Westfield in the midfield. Westwood onto Aaron Lennon. He's fouled surely by Junior Firpo. Leeds fans go crazy. They say, how can that be a foul and the other one not? But a free kick to Burnley it is. 1-1 here.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact where there was a coming together. We just see actually Ben Mee puts his arm across and a little bit of contact, but he goes down, but the goalkeeper was straight out.
Cornet wrestled to the ground by Diego Llorente. Play on, says the referee. Click back to Forshaw. Leeds midway inside their own half. 1-1. Is there to be a winner in the final 20 minutes here at Elland Road as Ayling comes over the halfway line with possession? Oh, he had his head up looking for a pass and he took his eye off the ball, and Cork is able to nip in and win it back for Burnley. Ayling working hard to try and retrieve possession. Cork gives it back to Taylor. Ball over the halfway line. Koch wins it. Prodded down with his studs by Forshaw, and then played forward by Dallas looking for Gelhardt. Game continues to be played at a rapid pace. Offside flag raised against Gelhardt, and that's going to be a free kick to Burnley 10 yards outside their penalty area. But since the introduction of Gelhardt and James, Leeds trying even more so to get in behind this Burnley defence.
You can see the passes that they're trying to make on the shoulders, trying to stretch Burnley all the way, but Burnley just happy, trying to soak it up. It's time again now. Hennessy direct, have literally just gone for the long effort to give the supporters saying, can they hurry it up slightly? Fascinating game.
So the free kick for the offside decision taken by Wayne Hennessy. High in the air, too high for his teammates, disappointing for Burnley. It bounces all the way through to Meslier in the Leeds United goal. Meslier, who has been beaten here. Now, there is a goal at Goodison Park. This could be huge. Everton against Brighton. Which way has it gone? Maz Farouki.
It's gone the way of Brighton, Connor, and it's an absolutely fabulous strike from Alexis McAllister, about 25 yards or so out past the edge of the D. Came from nowhere, really. Created it all himself. His second of the match. Brighton don't deserve it, but they have their two-goal cushion. Everton 1, Brighton 3.
Thanks, Maz. So Brighton with a 2-goal lead. Everton had it back to 2-1, but now McAllister's second goal making it 3-1 there. And you can just imagine the atmosphere at Goodison Park. Rafa Benitez enduring a very difficult spell here at Elland Road. Chris Wood wins a flick-on header, but Llorente is on hand to clear away for Leeds United. Click gets it down on the deck, has a little look for options, rolls it in front of Stuart Dallas. He powers over the halfway line and plays it in front of Junior Firpo, who gets to it ahead of the sideline. And now plays it towards the edge of the penalty area. That's a very good ball. Dan James, low cross into the middle. Missed by Gelhardt. Rafinha into the side netting. What a chance for Leeds to regain their lead. Brilliant from Junior Firpo in front of Dan James. His cross was so good. And Rafinha to the side netting.
That was a brilliant run, wasn't it? Dan James in behind Matt Loughton. And he puts a brilliant ball right across the 6-yard area. All the Burnley players scampering. It's just an open goal, tight angle. Rafinha with his right foot comes across, puts it into the side netting. I feel if it's his left foot, he scores.
Big 20 minutes to play here. Once things are over at Elland Road, all attentions are going to turn to Chelsea against Liverpool. Correspondent John Murray has got some very interesting team news.
And I can bring confirmation that Romelu Lukaku is not involved. Chelsea's record signing is neither in the team nor among the substitutes as Havertz comes in for him. Thiago Silva is also back for the injured Christensen. Chalobah's in with James also on the injured list, so it looks like Azpilicueta at right wing back. Kante and Alonso also start. Jorginho and Hudson-Odoi are on the bench. So 5 changes for Chelsea, 3 for Liverpool. We know that there's no Jurgen Klopp, he's self-isolating. They are also without goalkeeper Alisson, Firmino and Matip, who Liverpool say have all returned suspected positive COVID tests. So Liverpool's 3 changes. Kelleher comes in goal, Milner and Konate also in for Alisson, Matip and Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's on the bench.
Thanks, John. John will be alongside Karen Carney for commentary on 5 Live. Chelsea against Liverpool at 4:30. Interesting team news that, though, in Liverpool, the latest team to be hit by multiple absentees now with suspected COVID cases there. Here is Cornet, who's come off the bench to score for Burnley today. Sends it one side of Ayling and runs around the other. That's very good from Cornet. He is great to watch. I mean, we've enjoyed Rafinha all game. Cornet's got that little sparkle about him. Every time the ball is at his feet, something's about to happen. Here he comes again. Played in by McNeil. Cross from Cornet. Bounces around the penalty spot. Forshaw in hand to clear away for Leeds. Not very far, mind you. Westwood has picked it up, but the whistle is blown. And there was a foul. Jack Cork had committed a foul just before that. And the free kick is for Leeds United.
He's annoyed with himself, Jack Cork, because he knows there's such minimal contact right on the edge of the area to keep it alive for his team. Matches Click just goes down to buy a foul under pressure. But Cornet does really well on the left-hand side, doesn't he? Combination play with him and Charlie Taylor. Gets a good ball across, but great play, looks confident.
The clock ticks on in this game. And it's got a quarter of an hour plus the stoppages to go. Rafinha's made a nice ball in front of Gellard here. Tarkowski just squeezes in ahead of him and does a nice smart turn, Tarkowski, before rolling it short for Dwight McNeil. Gellard picks up very good positions. I have to say that's got a really nice awareness about him. And Leeds midfielders are enjoying trying to pick out those runs. Here come Burnley though with Westwood over the halfway line. To the right hand side and Lowton. Ball into Chris Wood. Almost a flick from Wood towards goal. And then it squirts through him and Cornet tried a last gasp attempt to get a shot of the back post. And all he can do is hit the side netting. Decent for Burnley though.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Started off by Ashley Westwood stepping into the middle, driving forward. Matty Lowton delivers a great ball from the right hand side. Wood just didn't get contact. There's Cornet, back post, similar to Rafinha's, just overstretching as he dives and tries to slide the ball in as it goes past the post.
Leeds 1, Burnley 1 here. It's like a game of basketball, one end to the other. Let's check in at the Brentford Community Stadium. Brentford hosting Aston Villa this afternoon. Jonathan Overend.
15 minutes to play here, still 1-1, but Brentford's most encouraging period of the match for them, and Onyeka almost gave them the lead a moment ago, shooting from the edge of the box, right-footed, low down, saved by the fingernails of Martinez, fully on the stretch, onto the post and wide. Brilliant save. Brentford 1, Villa 1.
Sounds like the game of the day so far is at Goodison. Maz Faruqi.
Anthony Gordon has Everton back in it once more, Connor. Everton 2, Brighton 3. Dominic Calvert-Lewin setting up on the right-hand side, deflected in somehow. Everton 2, Brighton 3.
Thanks very much. Leeds are on the attack here. There's a bit of room on the right-hand side for Matthias Clegg. He sends in the cross, right-footed, headed away by Tarkowski and headed out for a corner. Corner to Leeds, and they will send the big men up again. 14 minutes to play. This game, for now, Michael Brown remains on a knife edge.
It certainly is. There's opportunities, both ends of Usain. Full credit to the players. They're giving everything.
So the corner is taken short. Click rolls it to Stuart Dallas. Left-footed shot from Dallas is in! Oh, that is some finish! And Elland Road goes berserk! It's a left-footed shot from a predominantly right-footed player, but he would never in his wildest dreams have wished to have hit that any more perfect. It slithered inside the post. It rolled along the inside of the side netting. It's a quite brilliant finish from Stuart Dallas, and it restores Leeds United's lead from the quickly taken corner. It's Leeds 2, Burnley 1. That is some finish from Stuart Dallas.
That was a great finish, a short corner, whether it was in the triangle or not. But as the ball comes right across the edge of the area, James Tarkowski comes out to try and block it. Left footed, just opens the face and guides the ball into the far post. Hennessy just standing there waiting as it curls right back inside the post. I've not seen Elland Road like that for some time. Incredible scenes.
Incredible scenes is right. Everyone up on their feet celebrating as Dallas powered it in from the edge of the penalty area. Leeds, who earlier in the game looked comfortable at 1-0 up, but they had looked nervy at 1-1, and that is a massive relief for Marcelo Bielsa to see his team regain the lead again. How are Burnley going to react to this? It's all happening now. We're going to take a check-in at the Gallagher Premiership Rugby. Leicester Tigers against Newcastle Falcons. Sarah Orchard.
You come to me just as Tigers get the first try of the game. It's now Leicester 8, Newcastle 0. Conversion to come, but it was Dan Kelly who went over after a really mucky, grubby maul that went over the line. It's been a bit of a slugfest in the rain, but it is now Leicester 8, Newcastle 0.
Thanks, Sarah. You can listen to Northampton Saints against Saracens live on Sports Extra right now, our sister station. There's been a red card in the Championship of the Hawthorns. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to West Brom's Alex Murrett. He went in late on Joe Rolls, and the referee Thomas Bramwell, who's been in danger of losing control in this game in the second half, gave him a straight red card. It's West Brom 1, Cardiff 1, West Brom down to 10 men.
Here, Leeds United 2, Burnley 1. Time running out for Sean Dyche's team. This could be a very big day for Leeds as they try to move clear of the relegation trouble below them. But if it stays like this, Burnley will be staying inside the bottom 3 for now.
Yeah, he looks to make a substitution, doesn't he, Sean Dyche? What can he do? What can his side bring to recover from this? It'd be disappointing that the organisation for the short corner, they haven't capitalised on the edge of the area, someone getting that block on, but the atmosphere here, as you can hear, incredible getting behind the team.
Leeds United fans very much enjoying their day in the driving rain at the moment. 10 minutes to play. They lead 2-1. Jay Rodriguez has come on for Aaron Lennon. Lennon, who's had a good game. He's worked really, really hard. But now another striker to join Chris Wood and Maxwel Cornet in the attack. They have 3 up top now, Burnley, as they desperately seek a late equaliser in this game. They've already come from 1-0 down. Can they come from 2-1 back?
They have. They've been very direct, extra strikers at the top of the pitch. But you know now Leeds United will move the ball around, try and get comfortable possession in the wider areas. They should get more room now.
Leeds have lost their last 3 games in a row. They're hoping this could be a turning point. Ben Mee puts the ball out of play for a throw into Leeds in front of the technical areas. Marcelo Bielsa's anorak is drenched with rain as he walks right to the edge of the area, has a little word with Stuart Dallas. Really good finish from Dallas. His first goal of this season. He got 8 Premier League goals last season, Stuart Dallas. Leeds Player of the Year for each of the last 2 seasons, and he scored a quite special goal here today. You'll see it tonight on Match of the Day with Mark Chapman, which is at 10:30 tonight on BBC One. Here is Gelhardt into the penalty area. Measy dribble, but shows too much of it to Charlie Taylor. Taylor tries to run out of defence, which is a high-risk strategy under pressure from Gelhardt, but Gelhardt fouls him in the end, and it's a free kick to Burnley.
They've made a lot of mistakes, haven't they, the Burnley players? Shorter passes, and that was the one I was coming back to as the ball stopped in the corner when they played the short free kick. As Dallas comes on, it's a great finish, isn't it, as he guides it in and around the post, but Burnley have got to react.
This one for the Paul Trevelyan, you are the ref, isn't it? What is the ruling? If a player is about to take a corner, they drag the ball with their foot into the little quadrant, keeping their foot on the ball, they then flick it out again. Does that count as being properly placed? You are the ref. I'm sure many will have their opinions.
Well, I think you know what Burnley's opinion will be.
That's it. It all depends what side of the fence you're on. Look, for me, I think if the ball is stationary, whether your foot is on it shouldn't really count. What do you think, Michael? It's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one, but we don't often see that, do we? As he's going to roll it in and roll it back, they're saying, is it 1 touch, is it 2 touches? Leeds fans certainly changed their tune now.
VAR would have had a look at it. Mike Dean is the VAR for this game today, actually, by the way. So we've had late goal here. What about at Brentford? Jonathan Overend.
Goal for Brentford, and they take the lead 2-1 against Aston Villa with only 8 minutes to go, and it's Mads Rojlev, who's been playing at the right wing back, who has scored the second time of asking. His first shot coming in from the flank was blocked by Martinez, but it fell kindly to him second time around, and he made no mistake. Brentford 2, Villa 1.
Thanks very much. A free kick has been awarded here to Burnley in a very similar position to where Maxwel Cornet scored to make it 1-1 earlier in the game. Wasn't the worst challenge I've ever seen from Forshaw.
It's been a good battle, them two. Really challenging each other. He possibly could have got a yellow card for me in a dangerous area as he makes the tackle. But now another opportunity for Burnley. Some ending, isn't it? Are we going to see more drama?
7 minutes to play. Cornet, of course, stands over this. It would be rude not to, having scored from virtually the same place, just the mirror image other side of the penalty area.
I'm going to say he can't do it again.
He won't even try. It's Westwood who clips it in, and it's headed away by Ayling. And with the benefit of 2020 hindsight, I'm going to proudly say he should have gone for it there. It always looks like the other option was better when it doesn't work out. 2-1 Leeds, advantage remains. Forshaw slow to get back to his feet. Burnley are certainly going for the equaliser, but they are running out of time to get it.
Yeah, Jack Cork just comes in really, really tight, and Forshaw leaves his foot in, dives and makes sure that the referee's under pressure to give that free kick in a key area just to kill the game for Leeds United.
Right, having had Wood, Cornet and Rodriguez on the pitch, it's now the introduction by Sean Dyche of Matti Vidra, but it won't be four strikers. Wood is the man who makes way. So Rodriguez, Vidra and Cornet will finish this game as the Burnley attack. No goal on his return, this time to Elland Road for Chris Wood, the former Leeds United player. 5 live from the BBC. It's been a good game, this. Good watch. Leeds 2, Burnley 1. Dallas slips but manages to roll the ball in front of Click. Click won't get there. Cornet has a touch for Burnley. Forshaw working so hard, slides, gets a touch, but he can only play it in front of Charlie Taylor. Taylor over the halfway line, slaloms away from Dallas. Might have been tripped by Forshaw there. Referee was right beside it and waves play on. Click for Leeds, bearing down on the Burnley penalty area. Turns back to his right boot. He's got Rafinha with him. The challenge by Taylor is a good one according to the referee. Rafinha stays down. And Hennessy, the Burnley goalkeeper, clears it away. It's walloped long into the other end of the field where Rodriguez will hustle for it with Llorente. Llorente just about slides it away. Rodriguez followed through into him, and that is a blatant foul. And he's really pumped up here, Rodriguez. He needs to calm down. He's got over and nudged into Llorente. It's going to be a free kick to Leeds. That was quite blatant from Jay Rodriguez.
I think you've got to just play on. It's shoulder to shoulder. He's running along. Now Charlie Taylor doesn't get a foul in the middle of the pitch. He's clearly tripped. He drives one, then the next one, goes back into Rafinha argument. That could have been a foul.
There was a
but
few
the
there,
referee's caught in a washing machine. He's having a bad 10 minutes.
Washing machine. Yeah, there were probably 3 questionable decisions there, and who knows which was right and which was wrong. It was all happening in a flurry. Washing machine is a very good way of describing it. 5 minutes to play. A brief respite as Rafinha takes a drink, and he's getting some treatment on the edge of the Burnley penalty area. If you're just joining our coverage here, Leeds took the lead in the first half. Jack Harrison's goal before half-time. Maxwel Cornet was introduced as a substitute over the break. He made it 1-1 to Burnley with a very good free kick. And then Stuart Dallas, after a quickly taken corner, restoring Leeds' lead. But I think we haven't heard the last of this. Was it taken too quickly? Had the ball come to a stationary stop? Was it a proper corner? Well, the VAR has obviously looked at it and felt it was, but that would be perhaps one of the talking points of this game. 5 live from the BBC with Chelsea against Liverpool to come at 4:30. And if you missed the team news, Thiago Silva back for Chelsea. No Lukaku is expected, not even on the bench. 5 changes for the Chelsea team, 3 for Liverpool. Alisson, Firmino and Matip all out, suspected COVID cases. Foul by Tarkowski on Gelhardt there, where he basically rugby tackled him, but the decision was given the other way, and I can only assume that maybe Gelhardt had fouled him just before that, and Tarkowski's was just a retaliation. Anyway, play on for now. Ben Mee to Cornet on the left wing. He waited the ball to come to him, and he didn't. He shouldn't have done that. Dallas was able to nip in and win it. Plays it over the top. Gelhardt is in here. Chance for Leeds. Good rescue tackle by Tarkowski. He held his ground. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Joe Gelhardt was offside.
Oh, brilliant, isn't it? Just literally you go, we go. Balls in behind. Stuart Dallas, brilliant play down the right hand side. He puts the ball central. Probably an offside. Gallagher tries to get away. Tarkowski comes across. Not sure he gets the ball. Would have been a penalty. The offside flags up. Now an opportunity for Burnley.
There's been a lot of goals today between the game at Brentford 2-1, Everton 2-3, Leeds here 2-1, and hopefully the best still to come with Chelsea against Liverpool at half 4. half-time in the Gallagher Premiership at Welford Road. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, convincing lead for Leicester. They lead 17-0 against Newcastle. Tries by the centres Dan Kelly and Matt Scott, but everything is pinpointed by mistakes in the filthy wet conditions here at Welford Road. Half-time, Leicester 17, Newcastle 0.
Yeah, it's been coming down very steadily throughout. If anything, it's slightly eased a little bit here at Elland Road. Leeds hoping that they are very close now to securing a win that would end their run of 3 straight defeats in the Premier League. There are 2 minutes of normal time to play. There'll be a few stoppages, I'm sure. Dallas wins a header against Cornet, who couldn't get off the ground. Rafinha into Click. Burnley are spread a bit thin at the back here. Click out to Dan James on the left-hand side. He couldn't control it with his first touch, but he's managed to recover possession. And Lowton has peeled back away from him, allowing James into the penalty area. His cross, though, is too high for Rafinha, who was queuing up patiently at the back post. But Dan James was unable to find him. Rafinha sprints out and keeps the ball in play by the corner flag. A little bit of showboating from Rafinha. Then he picks a lovely pass into the penalty area to Stuart Dallas, to the byline. He wins a corner off Ben Mee, and Leeds are looking to turn the screw here and see it out for the win. That was cheeky from Rafinha. He was really showing off and showboating, but it sums up the mood of a dominant Leeds at the moment.
It was a bit of showboat on the line. I think Charlie Taylor won't disappoint the next chance he gets, but full credit Stuart Dallas as well, making forward runs, drawing in the corner kick, just waiting for that little bit of contact.
Corner taken by Rafinha. They tried to recreate the move of sending it to Dallas, but it wasn't as good a pass this time. Dan James sends it back into the mix, too high, and it bounces out for a goal kick. So we've got 30 seconds of normal time to go. 2-1 to Leeds.
Yeah, 2-1, just waiting to see how long added time, but Dan James got to do a little bit better. Match's Click was in a wide area. That's game management the right way.
Now, chance of a sprint. Gelhardt against Tarkowski. Gelhardt's done well to get the ball, shoots, but Tarkowski recovers. He's so good at doing that, Tarkowski. Sometimes you think he's out of it, and he manages to find one more stride just to get back and make the block, and that's what he did there. Again, Tarkowski on the ball, sends it over the top. Burnley aren't giving up here. Vidra challenges. Ayling, though, beats him in the air. Good header back to Meslier. Leeds United breathe a sigh of relief again.
Absolutely brilliant. Luke Ayling, absolutely brilliant.
They missed him. You look at the games they had out of. Yeah.
The cover, the balance, coming round to support, make sure he's fully aware what's going on. Fantastic leadership at the end of this game.
Meslier clears it up over the halfway line. Taylor beats Rafinha. We've just moved into what is going to be 5 minutes of additional time at Elland Road. And I imagine it's quite a high velocity finish at Goodison Park. Maz Faruqi.
It certainly is 4 additional minutes here, Connor. Still Everton 2, Brighton 3, but Everton should be level. Anthony Gordon should have had his hat-trick. There was some great work down the left from substitute Salomon Rondon. Gordon tried to poke the cross into the bottom left-hand corner, but somehow he got it just wide. Everton 2, Brighton 3.
And it's not quite done and dusted yet at Brentford. Jonathan Overend.
Now we're into 5 minutes of stoppage time like you, with Brentford 2-1 up, coming from behind. Corner to Villa, though, in the final moments, swung in by McGinn, and Brentford are throwing everything at this, and there's an excellent save from a header from Buendia, behind for another corner. Brentford clinging on, 2-1.
Leeds 2-1 in front of Burnley here. Leeds, who can move 8 points clear of the bottom 3 if they win, and that will make everyone breathe a bit easier around this part of Yorkshire, as Jay Rodriguez wins a header but can't pick out a teammate. Matthias Klick's played really well for Leeds today, and he's managed to push the ball in front of Gelhardt here, attacking down the right wing for Leeds. Here comes the cross in towards Dan James, and he heads it, and it's into the back of the net. It was saved initially by Wayne Hennessy, but he couldn't get a firm enough touch on it, and Dan James had applied so much power to his header that the momentum brought it over the line. Hennessy couldn't keep it out. Leeds are going to win this game now in stoppage time. It's Leeds 3, Burnley 1. It's the substitute Dan James with a very powerful header, and surely that is going to be that now.
Brilliant work, Matthias Klick. The reaction of the manager, Marcelo Bielsa, hugging his staff, realising what this goal means. Joe Gallagher, the wonderful ball around the back post, and thinking game management, don't do it. Dan James arriving on the back post, heads it down into the ground. Hennessy down to his left-hand side, just doesn't get a strong enough arm, and it just waits as it goes into the air, seems to wait forever as it drops into the far corner. The celebrations at Elland Road Incredible.
It's a throwback this to last season. It is the first time this campaign that Leeds have scored 3 in a Premier League game. Last season, they scored 3 or more in 10 different matches. They were so free scoring, Leeds United. But the whole mood today on a wet day at Elland Road has been a throwback to last year. They got some important players back into their defence today, but Marcelo Bielsa will be just delighted with the way Leeds have played this game. Their early lead was cancelled out in the early stages of the second half here, but Leeds have shown such determination to now go and make it a 2-goal lead at 3-1. Here's Cornet for Burnley, leaning back as he hits his shot, and it goes very high and into the Leeds United fans behind that goal. Leeds United are almost there, 3-1.
Well, I think they are there. Celebration starting all around us, frustration on Sean Dyche's face tells the story as Cornet comes inside onto his right foot and puts the ball over.
It is the first header that Leeds United have scored this season. You wouldn't have put your money on Dan James scoring it, would you? But I took the power, even though his international colleague Wayne Hennessy got a touch in it, he wasn't able to keep it out. Such was the power. But brilliant cross as well. It was Gelhardt, wasn't it? Brilliant cross to pick out Dan James for the goal.
Well, he got that reward, but I was actually thinking, keep the ball. Don't actually waste it. Don't give it away. That's comfortable now for Leeds United with the extra cushion, but you get these rewards when you make that pass.
You know, a lot has been spoken this week about the games in hand that Burnley have, and Watford lost out to that late winner for Tottenham yesterday, and people saying, oh, you know, the games in hand. The trouble with games in hand is you're not guaranteed you get anything from them. And Burnley playing today, and it looks like they're going to leave here empty-handed. And Sean Dyche could be in for a battle. He's had escape routes from relegation trouble in the Premier League in the past, but this is going to be a struggle this year. 11 points to show. This is their 17th game of the season. They need a drastic improvement of form, and remember, they're going to lose Cornet now to the African Cup of Nations. One player who has been able to score for them today. Here is Cornet in possession. Again, he's done this a few times. He waits for the ball to come to him, and you can't do that against Leeds. Dallas nips in and wins possession. He's passed, though, too far in front of Rafinha. We have played the 5 minutes. Paul Tierney brings the whistle to his lips, and it's all over. Leeds United beat Burnley. An entertaining game. They win by 3-1. It moves Leeds 8 points clear of the relegation zone. Burnley still have a game in hand, and the other teams around them. But Sean Dyche's side remain in the relegation zone for now. Burnley have still only had 1 Premier League win this season. They must be worried, and even a goal off the bench from Maxwel Cornet couldn't save them today. But for Leeds, Harrison, Dallas, Dan James, and it feels like old times. And rather than looking down at the relegation zone now, Michael Brown, Leeds are going to start looking back up towards mid-table.
They're going to look up, yes, that relief on Marcelo Bielsa's face with his staff told it all when that third goal went in. He realised this is a huge game for his side. The pressure's been on. Yes, they've had a little bit of a rest, and you could see the intensity, the desire. They had to work hard in the second half to create opportunities under threat as well from Burnley, going very, very direct. The real determination, real desire, led by people like Stuart Dallas, Luke Ayling. Wonderful games, and the celebrations start at Elland Road.
They've had some very disappointing results lately, have Leeds United, not least that 7-0 defeat against Manchester City, beaten 4-1 last time out at home here to Arsenal. But I think when the mix of this season is finally settled, this could be a day that Leeds United fans look back on as a big turning point in the campaign. They have beaten Burnley by 3-1.
Yeah, it's a huge result for Leeds. I think you can see that with the celebrations on the pitch and in the stands at Elland Road, Michael. I must start with a tweet we've had that's come in from Paul. Things you thought you wouldn't see today. Dan James scoring a header against a Burnley back line to wrap it up. But that sums it up. You know, their afternoon, it's been Leeds' day, hasn't it?
Well, it has, and I think this little detail as well. Leeds United have had the better of Burnley. They've given some silly sort of passes away, some mistakes, and they've capitalised. But like you say, they put the ball into the back post, and there's Dan James with that header to seal it. First, Connor said, first headed goal of the season. Incredible. But yeah, it's It's just a good, solid performance from Leeds United. A better one in the second half from Burnley. But I feel like the pressure was increasing at Leeds United to see where they were going to end up in the table. Talks of Rafinha missing right down the spine of the team. Cooper, Phillips, Bamford notably. So huge result for them.
Yeah, the fans in the stands mostly smiling. I must just comment, though, on the pictures. I'm sure that will appear on Match of the Day later. A little girl has just been given a shirt from Luke Ayling, and she's absolutely crying her eyes out. Day made. But, you know, we spoke pre-match about Leeds and what they do and how they continue to just do it the Leeds way, take risks. And we saw that right until the end, Mark, you were saying, come on, game management, they just need to get this done. But taking risks, that they got their third goal.
Yeah, they did. We just seen Junior Firpo as well. I thought he made some really, really good runs. He's had some criticism of late, obviously defensive-wise, but he got forward, he joined in with his team, made forward runs late on, and they get those rewards. Game management, I don't know if Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa's side know that. But even Joe Gallagher there, putting the ball in where he could have kept it just before that. Matthew's Click was on, Dan James didn't play him. He tried to put the ball into the area, but on this occasion, putting the ball into the back post, Dan James gets that header, gets the winner, and he's seen the relief. I just think it told a story. Bielsa's hug with his staff, I think he sort of said this was the game, this is something that we needed going into January.
Connor, where did Burnley go from here? I mean, you said there might be some grievance around that short corner which was taken for the Stuart Dallas goal, but yeah, Leeds' second goal in general, actually, it looked to just really take the wind out of Burnley, didn't it?
Yeah, they can't get Nick Pope back quickly enough. We know Wayne Hennessy is an established goalkeeper and an international and all the rest of it, but Nick Pope has been such an important part of the Burnley machine in recent seasons. He is so solid. He's got such a good understanding with Ben Mee and Tarkowski, and you know, you look at the goals today. Hennessy at least questionable for the first and the third goals anyway. I don't think there's much you can do about the second one scored by Leeds. But yeah, Nick Pope needs to get back quickly, and then you worry for them, and I really do. And you know, I think people see Burnley as a permanent fixture in the Premier League. They are part of the furniture. You know, they always seem to find a way of escaping the drop. This year, I'm really worried for them. You know, the goals have dried up for Chris Wood. Yes, Cornet has come in and he's been able to take up that slack, but now he goes off to the African Cup of Nations. And, you know, the old warriors who've always been there, the Ben Mee and Tarkowski and Westwood and these guys, they will battle on. Of course they will, but other teams battle too. And, you know, just desire and just grit isn't good enough anymore to keep you in the Premier League. There are too many good teams there. And I think we've seen today, Leeds are a side who people were talking about as being in free fall down towards the relegation zone themselves. They've ended up being much better than Burnley today. And that is going to trouble Sean Dyche, because they do what they do, Burnley. They put pressure on. They hope to force mistakes. They capitalise them on them when they can. They did that today. It wasn't enough. And when they go looking for plan B, plan C, at the moment, Burnley don't have that. And you look at their results. We are now in January. They have had one win in the Premier League this season. That is relegation form.
And Dan,